Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours. And we're racing. It's Antonio. Here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. Run record 97. And he should have been 40. He should have been 40. Director 97. $100. He wanting all the money.
Oh my God,
Director! And it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home! We're 6-5 Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton maybe was doing the fight with it as well. Doing the fight. Algary's from H-Town. Does Coin have enough space to get home? Or will Daby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack picks out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Is anybody? The contestant, here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Crystal from the back. Crystal. The family wants that.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm the cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who can produce, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a legal record, cause we be, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, June 28th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Monstrous day yesterday for a lot of us, not including me. I think I'm the only person, the only capper in the entire world who lost money on the Dallas Wings yesterday. Shocking for that to have happened. But you guys all cashed. I should have listened to Brizzy when he said first half. I should have listened to Brizzy when he first, he told me to go first half. I went first quarter like a clown and have to deal with the consequences. And it put me in a real bad mood. The Twins helped that mood. TJ was bullish on the Twins first 5 in full game. I went on them full game. It was a tricky MLB card. The way we deconstructed, I only had 2 bets, but good. I saved a lot of money because of the market. The market was telling us that after 4 starts with Jack Flaherty only allowing 1 run, that he was the vulnerable one in the Davis Daniels major league debut, or I think he'd thrown once before, but in 2023, that was shocking. And that came to fruition. And I would have even lost the first 5 under. You'd have told me that Daniel's going to throw 5 innings of scoreless baseball. Well, the under must have cashed. Flaherty lost 5 runs in the first 5. But Jose Bouquett, Chicago White Sox, first half, full game, was an absolute thing of beauty. He had a monster day. Brizzy's Wings and Ogunbowale SGP at 5-1 was a thing of absolute beauty. Spectacular stuff from the group as a whole, even if I was not included. Although Edmonton Elks did take care of business. And it's funny how that total opens up at 49.5. My friend Slatsy's on it, and I'm still like, I don't know. And maybe it was the bias, the recency bias of the Lions Stamps game, where that was tied 17-17 going into the fourth, and only 9 points were scored in that fourth quarter. It was a clear under. But then it goes up to 54, closes at 53.5, and it goes way under. But the Elks were in that the whole game long. I don't know if the Lions are struggling at home. I don't know if the injury to Vernon Adams is real. I think it is. I think it's a real issue for him this year. Or the Elks could be the best 0-4 team in CFL history, losing to the Grey Cup champs by 3 points, losing to the finalists in the Western Conference by 3 points, losing to the team that went 18-2 last year, Argos, by 3 points. There's a lot to talk about, but we did cash with the Elks, which felt very, very good. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Truth Teller ready to get to work. Colorado Bull says, good morning, Jim. Colorado Noble parlay play day 2-2 plus 10.1 units. He's on San Francisco money line and Montreal over 51.5. So the Montreal Toronto total opens at 47. And even then I was questioning it. And I was trying just to explain it in my head. And we're going to pop off with that right off the top. And I'm not saying I don't like it, Colorado Bull. I don't mean that, because obviously the market is very concerned moving it 4.5 points. That's a huge market move. 4.5 points. Huge market move. I'm going to be copying and pasting all of the action. Pig Milk play of the day is in. Pig Milk play of the day. Pirates first 5 plus a half at plus 100. Maybe adding UFC Pig Milk. All Pig Milk is good Pig Milk, Billy. All Pig Milk is good Pig Milk. So I've been a mess, I think I'm over COVID almost like 98, 99%, a little bit in the lungs. But I haven't been sleeping, being stressed out. The stakes are just so high, and that's stressful. Puts knots in our backs and makes things, difficult. And I can't get any sleep. I can't get sleep. And when we got to, and I was just like, I just felt bad. I just felt sick yesterday, and I was like, maybe I could try to sleep. All I had left was Elks, Lions. That was it. I was like, could I possibly sleep? And I tried to go to sleep right around just before it kicked off. And I couldn't, I'm sitting there, 1 a.m. going, gotta look at the score. But I know if I look at the score one time, I won't be able to sleep the whole night. So I tried to get sleep. I feel a little bit more rested, and it sure felt good to see 23-20 in that football game this morning. I'm dreaming about the score in the Elks Lions game. This is not quality sleep, but quality capping. And that's what's important. Speaking of quality capping, let's get Jose Bouquett up here right now after that spectacular call on Chicago White Sox first 5 and full game. Let's bring Jose back up here. Jose, spectacular work with that White Sox call. Monstrous day. You were up a little over 7 units in MLB?
Yeah, it was nice. I was down, 23. Now I'm at 16ish, 17ish. I forget already. But yeah, it was a great day. Can't get too caught up in it though, because we're chipping away. But
yes,
minus 300 fade. And by the way, I did mention at one point, like, you just take first 5 full game for both the Marlins and the White Sox game, you cash 2, you're feeling great about yourself. You would have cashed 3 because the Marlins end up taking the win as well. So
there was something suspicious about that run line, and I know that sent me into some anger yesterday, but a 70 cents difference is when two favorites have the same line, but one's 70 cents cheaper on the run line. It's suspicious. And I know there's one less at bat. That's not 70 cents worth. Jose, we have highlights from winners given out in the chat yesterday. Can you review the glory that the chat was delivering yesterday?
Yeah, well, I'll highlight 3 people in particular, if I could say my piece today. Shout out to Troy, up 2.46 units yesterday on some baseball. Shout out to you, Troy. He had the Reds, he had the Giants, first 5 team total under as well. Nice.
Yeah.
Cubs, of course, first 5, Twins, a lot of good stuff there. Ron Crawford taking the Angels. Not bad. And taking that WNBA Storm pick as well. Shout out to you and Billy Friedrich.
You guys nailed that. But just before that, speaking of the Angels, I just want to say this. Is Wine Time Sports not completely locked in with this ball club? I mean, he's absolutely nailed everything that's going through with the Angels right now. Shout out to Wine Time Sports, man. But keep rolling.
Yeah, remember Wine Time said he's betting him every game for the next 10 games. So shout out to you, Wine Time. Yes, so shout out to you, Wine Time. Billy Friedrich, by the way, using the thing that we've talked about, or I've talked about, if these bullpens are depleted, take the over-outs for these starting pitchers. You did that for Chris Sale. Cubs first 5 money line cashes for both as well for him. And then Mikey Money, Dallas Wings plus 10. Shout out to you, Mikey Money.
Mikey Money's your girlfriend. I'm so enamored with these older women. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. White Sox plus a half in the under 8 at plus 265. We had Nate Dogg and a few others move on that with the White Sox money line and the under 8, and so as well did under 8, and so as well. Who else hammered that as well? Is that Flash in the chat? Okay, I didn't hear from Flash, so okay, Flash does want to come on and talk Copa and Euros. That's very helpful. Okay, so could you send Flash the link? My friend, and we'll hammer that right now. If he's ready to rock, let's get him on right now so you guys can hammer that. So we'll switch the order around a little bit, and we'll go into the 2 Copa games here, and then as well as the 2 Copa games, and we'll talk about the round of 16 now, knockout stages for the Euros. So Flash joining us today is wonderful. Thank you, Flash. But yes, your grandma's wearing your sister's panties play today. He also gave it out at plus 450 with the money line. I know a bunch of guys hit it. So spectacular work from these cappers in the chat. Spectacular work. Anybody else that you want to call out there, Jose?
No, that's it for right now. Keep, if you guys want to keep getting added onto those highlights, put POD in your play. That helps our guy Swiggy, organize, categorize everyone's bets. So anything you guys want official on the website, just put a POD in there as well, and we'll get you on there. So shout out to you, Swiggy. We're building, lovely database of all our cappers here.
Yeah, it's great. I love what's happening. It gives us it makes it easier for us to celebrate what's going on with the cappers in the chat that are succeeding at a great rate. So we're going to have Flash joining us. When I see him backstage, we will roll with footy. We'll get started with soccer. But we want you guys to know that tonight is the Tees Celebration of Life. That is this evening for Tees, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific at Hubangin Sports Talk. I will be there. And many of our friends, DJ Big Boss and Dami Gunricci, will be leading the way. I thought we were going to have Dami Gunricci. I've not heard from him either, so I don't know exactly what's going on with Dami, but he will be at the Tees Celebration of Life this evening. We will have Dabra Kadabra on today's show as well. We will be rocking with getting Bill's Billy Brisbane. So Brizzy will be rolling with us here as well. So we have the link sent to Flash. I'm going to be copying and pasting some action and here from Cappers in the chat. We got Billy Friedrich, Old E, the Truth Teller, Justin McKelvey, Gerald Jones, LJ from H-Town, Sean Pulliam, NJ Striker, Serious Business, Viper, NBLQ, Joey Harb, Wine Time Sports, Paul Taylor, the Sailor, 3-0 yesterday, Markel, Jay says Twins first 5 full game was gold. JP's ready to get to work. The spreadsheet play of the day. Dog is in now, up 15 units on just 32 bets. What a monster Ron Crawford is. We got Rod Zawacki, Coin, Top Set. Great group. Mikey Money there in the house. Jarek White, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper. What a great group. Panger Life, Markel, Morgan Spooner, Rem Most, Justin McKelvey, TJ, Benjamin Mills, Sharpie, so many great cappers here in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Joseph Gomez. I'm going to be copying and pasting Kong's clips. Perky back in business. Great to see you, Perky. Great to see all of you guys. So I will be copying and pasting Mally Mal, Sammy Culmer, copying and pasting all the action here from the cappers in the chat. Fernando Mendoza. But let's bring on a great friend of mine, the star of BetUS programming, and a phenomenal football capper and soccer capper. I know football is multi-used here. Also a professional soccer player in his own right. Who had
I was about to say, yeah, I knew you got to say that. You're a cleat chaser, Jimmy. Come on.
Look, I respect it. You know, how many professional sports have you played, Jose? And so have I. We're a couple of schmucks compared to our next guest. It's not an easy thing. You have to dedicate your entire life to making it. And he did that and had an illustrious career in the highest levels of football. Please welcome from Costa Rica, Escazú, Costa Rica. We got Flash in the house. Flash, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, morning, boys. Morning, boys. I thought you was an Olympic slug balancer, Jose. I mean, you just got it off to a T. And by the way, how's that queue going for your missus? Because I keep seeing that my offer is being rejected.
Well, the queue's long, Flash. I'm still in it. I'm still in it myself.
Are you at the front or at the back or what?
I'm definitely in the back. But, you know, we're trying to get up to the front one day.
Good lad. Don't worry. If you're in the back, there's still every hole's a goal. Listen,
we have Nutflush Allen in the house as well. He's on his way to Montana. Flash, Nutflush Allen's eldest daughter starting med school in Montana.
Mum's brains.
Graduated university in 3 years. It is great to see you, Flash. We've had Jose Bouquett leading the charge of our footy coverage, and he's been spectacular. Can you what on Venezuela to take out Mexico? Got that. Both teams to score in Panama. America went 3-0 yesterday. He had Turkey and both teams to score in that one. He's rolling nice, and it's hard for us to fathom that he can keep this going. Can he possibly?
Well, yeah, because obviously everything's blowing in the wind in his direction because Venezuela opened up with 3 points against 10 men and a goalkeeper that had his money on Venezuela. So listen, it's going to be short-lived. So, but the first one is that Uruguay are still plus 400 to go and win Copa. Still plus 400. They're by far the best team. Don't get pushed towards Brazil or Argentina. They're both not good enough against a side like Uruguay. And obviously I told you 3-4 weeks ago, Argentina will be in the final. So Argentina versus Uruguay is around, plus 550 for them just to meet because Argentina will not play anybody and they'll just be in the final and then Uruguay will win the final for me.
That is beautiful stuff. Let's talk about Copa here. We got 2 games on tonight's schedule, and then talk a little bit about your thoughts on the Euros. 6 p.m. Eastern, we begin with Colombia versus Costa Rica in Glendale, Arizona. It's a big night for the Costa Rican football followers down there. We know that they love their soccer. Let's take a look at the line history and the plan of action for you 2 gentlemen. And we want to hear from you guys in the chat as well. Do you have any special plan to watch this in Costa Rica?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go to Multiplaza because, as you know, my good lady is Colombian. So she'll be there causing absolute uproar. And Zara have just opened up a new shop in the Multiplaza. So, again, I'll be going to do a bit of shopping there for her as well. The problem we've got here with Costa Rica is that every man and his dog in this camp have bought into what the manager wants. And what he wants is 78 men behind the ball and just not concede. Now, I think that they were very, very lucky, but they got what they deserved because the Brazilians had no plan B. I think the Colombians are a little bit more streetwise. I think that they'll find a way. I don't like Costa Rica to score. Maybe a draw half-time is probably the best value because when you have a Costa Rican side that are not going to score, then if the number's too big on like Colombia win to 0 or Colombia half-time, full-time, I expect this to be a very tight, dour game first half. And that I would probably go with a half-time of draw half-time. No goals first half.
There has been a 130-cent move to Costa Rica, opening up at Pinnacle at minus 197 on the 3-way, now minus 327. Costa Rica opened up at plus 557 flash at Pinnacle. They're now plus 1135. Their price is double.
Because to win that game, they've got to score. They're not interested. They've got every single man in this squad has been told to stay together, be professional, and just get tight. They hardly get into the opposition's half. Colombia, yeah, they're a little bit more open than some of the other sides, but in the final third, I think they will get it done. But you've got to be looking for value. You've got to be looking at how am I going to get cashed? Because I don't want them wonky things that are happening in the baseball yesterday to roll over into Copa today, and all of a sudden we see that it's 0-0 again. You cannot do that, and you don't want to be betting Colombia just to win the game at some crazy juiced odds. I think you go with draw half-time, and that'll be plus money.
Jose Bouquett, your plan for Colombia, Costa Rica?
Yeah, I'm probably staying off, but I mean, I'm looking at Costa Rica team total under a half is minus 145, which is crazy. Which seems like the under in this game is just, you just hope Costa Rica holds on the whole game. That's basically what you're hoping for. 1-0 Colombia, you're fine. And then hopefully at that point, if it's 1-0, Colombia, sits on their laurels a little bit and just controls the game because they know Costa Rica is not going to attack. So an under in this game, I definitely don't hate. And Flash, I don't hate your, I actually like very much your halftime draw as well. I mean, I was capping with Flash and Alex for a few months. How am I not going to be good at capping soccer at some point?
Exactly. I love it. Game 2 this evening, Paraguay, Brazil. This is in Allegiant Stadium in Nevada. This yesterday, Flash, moved towards was it not yesterday? Excuse me. It was on two days ago. Brazil got up into the 350 range at Pinnacle. They've come back. There's not very much line movement in this one. They're now minus 296, opening up at minus 264 in this one. What are your thoughts in game 2, Paraguay, Brazil, Flash?
The problem you've got with Brazil is that for 25 minutes, they look like they're going to win the next 10 World Cups. And for the next 45 minutes, you can see why they're not going to win a World Cup. They're so disjointed. They're so individualistic. And they have no plan B. So, again, Paraguay are really athletic, by the way. And when they played Colombia in the first game, they were getting on top just as Colombia scored. So they're a threat. I'd like to know, what are Paraguay just to score in this game?
Let me see what I can pull up here for Paraguay to just score over a half. Let's get this set up here with Copa.
I've
And
enjoyed those bets as well. Like that's kind of the same thing I do with
plus
both teams
111.
score.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would say, because the thing is, Brazil could go and win this 5-1, and you're not interested. I did the same the other night with Jamaica. They were like plus 112, plus 120, or something like that, just to score. And that's all you're owed. And it gives you 95 minutes. It could be 7-0 down. But if they get that one goal, then you cash. And that's what it's all about. Brazil get one early. All of a sudden, they become flat track bullies. If they don't score early, then all of a sudden they start running down blind alleys, which is not good. They're not a team to trust. I'm taking them on already. We've obviously having Uruguay to win the whole thing. So for me, I don't trust Brazil. The only value I'd see is Paraguay actually scoring.
Paraguay scoring here. Our guy Nordy in the house, 40th birthday tomorrow. Headed to the track with the fam. I love that track there in Edmonton. I love that, Nordy. Can I get a birthday pic today? Absolutely. Let's copy and paste that message for sure. So Paraguay over a half goal for Flash at plus 111. Jose, what is your plan here for Paraguay, Brazil?
Yeah, I again, I'm in lockstep with Flash. I kind of like the both teams to score in this game. Paraguay is not that bad. I appreciate them for being worse than usual because, again, this is a team that Venezuela can beat and advance to the World Cup, and that's majority of what I care about here. But Brazil, I obviously think they'll score. They'll run wild at some point in this game, I feel. You just need Paraguay to score one measly goal. And it's the same thing with Panama. Sure, the U.S. had a good defense, blah, 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 blah. But I just think at the end of the day, if Brazil goes up 3-0, I think they get lax, and I think Paraguay can sneak one in there even then. So you're just hoping for Paraguay to score at some point here. So both teams to score plus 125 official for me.
And the chat is asking our man TJ saying, Flash, so then you would vouch in that game 1 at 6 p.m. in Glendale for the under 2.5 at plus 110 in Colombia, Costa Rica? Or do you
No, definitely not, because Colombia have got enough firepower to go and score 3 on their own. And whenever you've got that equation, you have to leave alone. I think probably 7 or 8 times out of 10, it's probably 2-0 to Colombia. But again, we've just seen Costa Rica draw 0-0 with Brazil. And really, Brazil didn't really create that much either. But I see Colombia winning to 0. I just don't want to get involved in any other lines where I get sucked in. But my main bet comes up and it's 0-0 at half time. It's not 1-1. So you could go under in the first half, like under 1. And it's like a push.
I like it. So it's first half under for Flash in Costa Rica, Colombia. Flash, if Venezuela meets Canada in the round of 16, Canada ranked a little bit higher in the FIFA rankings than Venezuela. Jose and I would be going head-to-head in this matchup. Do you have a lean if those two squads were to meet up?
I don't think it'll happen, though. So, again, we're just talking basically, you said you haven't been sleeping, but yet I think one of you's dreaming. I mean, Canada, they've been a lot better than people said that they would be. Because obviously for the last 2 years, they're great in the World Cup, and in 2 years, they've gone backwards, and now they seem to be coming forward again, which is great because 2 years' time, we've got the World Cup. Very, very tight game. I'd go with a draw. I'd sit on the fence and say I couldn't pick a winner. It would just be who took their chance when they came along, because there's not a lot between them. I would say the more athletic team is Canada.
Would that be a situation where you would take either team to win in penalty kicks?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd probably go plus 800 each of two. I mean, you side, Jose. Do you disagree that you think?
Of course. Well, we're going to win the group. We're going to win our group. We're not going to lose to Jamaica on Sunday. I can't wait. Again, Flash, you know why they're not going to lose? Because I'm going to be there willing this team to victory. That is what's going to happen. We're not going to lose to Jamaica. I'm going to sit there and laugh at Ecuador and Mexico as they try to battle out for second place.
Well, there's no battle there. Ecuador are an absolute... What a price are Ecuador against Mexico? Mexico are weak as piss.
Yes. See? Thank you.
Price?
So I've been saying this for months.
Jimmy, what price?
We're going to pull up the price for Ecuador
dropped
right here
Dropped the
against
prices.
Mexico. We have Ecuador to win at plus 175. They're very slight favorites over Mexico.
So they're thinking it's going to be they're trying to push you towards a draw. I think you go with the plus 175. Ecuador have got far too much for Mexico. Simple as that. I wouldn't even bother thinking about Venezuela because the other Venezuela, does it not go on goal difference?
Well, no, we're going to have a point up. We have 6 points.
If they beat Jamaica.
No, they will win, but you'll have 6. But what about Ecuador winning, say, 3-0?
No, they'll have 9. They'll have swept the board.
Yeah, we just can't lose to Jamaica. That's it. If we lose to Jamaica, then I'll sweat. But that's not happening, Flash, because I'll be there to push us to victory.
No, Jamaica are awful. They've just got their first goal in Copa competition. So, I mean, again, it's not happening. They will win. But you were making money. You go with Ecuador to beat Mexico. I had Ecuador to win this group. It's only because they went down to 10 men and the keeper started chucking them in that they lost to Venezuela.
I love it. I love it. We have the Euros moving forward now here into the knockout stages. The futures in the Pinnacle have plus 350 for England to win it all. They are the favorite. Is England capable of winning this all?
Of course they're not. The only reason they're favourites is because they're in a group that on paper is absolutely, they're in the bottom half of the draw. But Italy is still in there. I bet Italy last week at plus 2,200, looking and thinking, I tell you what, because I've already got France and Spain, before they obviously found out what side of the draws they were going to be, I'm thinking, no one wants to play Italy. Italy are not great, right? But they always find a way of getting to where they need to be. So if England win and Italy win, they're going to play in the quarters. And then it's England versus Holland. England might not even beat Slovakia. No, the price is only down to potential opposition on the road to the final. They couldn't have had an easier pathway. They called it the Golden Highway. But come on now. They didn't beat Slovenia. They didn't beat Denmark. No.
I love it. Flash. So you have France and Spain live, 2 of the top 4 right now.
Yeah.
There's only 5 squads in single digits, the 5th being Portugal.
I think Italy are massive value to get to the final, and then you can hedge. I took plus 2,200 like 9 days ago after they got beat by Spain 1-0, which obviously Spain have been the only side that I've seen so far, and I know it's early in the tournament, that actually look proper. Nobody else looks proper. Nobody. But Spain are now going to basically play Georgia. They win. Then they play the winner of Georgia. It's an absolute minefield. But Spain have the class, the quality, the players, and the right temperament to go all the way.
I love it, Flash. Thank you so much for making time for us. It means the world. Where can our viewers find you if we're looking for footy action?
Well, footy, NFL, August, can't wait. But soccer action will be tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern, here on the BetUS Soccer Channel. I'm going to go through the next round of games in the round of, what will it be? It will be the quarterfinals of Copa America. So 10 o'clock Eastern tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a show for the quarterfinals. Obviously, we'll see how they go tonight, but it's going to be really, really intriguing. But Uruguay, plus 400. I'm already on at plus 525, but plus 400, I was expecting plus 275, and they're still plus 400 to win it all. I think they're far better than anything else in this competition.
For those of you who aren't familiar with our guy Flash, he gave us Argentina to win the World Cup. He gave us Spain to win the Women's World Cup, and we got paid in full.
My best one, though, Jimmy, is the Super Bowl tie.
Yeah. The draw, that was special. That was special. And Flash was top 5, I believe 4th overall. I have to go back to numbers, but I believe 4th overall out of 30 cappers in our NFL.
Oh, by the way, do you want me? I should share this because obviously I don't want to do it later. I've just had 500 on the Eagles to win the NFC. I see them as being number 1 or number 2. I did press the button. Plus 600, but I think they get to the final. Then I'm going to get plus 300 either way. Doesn't matter who they play.
I love it. Flash, thank you so much for making time for us. Please support Flash on X as well, at Flash_37. Flash, you're the man. Any last words for our cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, come on, Jamaica.
What a son of a bitch. What a son of a bitch. Oh, my God. I can't wait.
What a guy he is. What a great, great guy. Flash, thank you so much for joining us. I've still got copying and pasting to do here. Maybe what have I missed? I'm not deep into the copying and pasting. Maybe you could help me grab some and text it to me or something, because I got to get into CFL before we break down the MLB card spreadsheet. Play day Minnesota. Let's get this up here, plus 114. I'm going to try to keep tracking all of our action from our cappers in the chat. And Nordy needs a birthday pick, turning 40 tomorrow. I love it. So, all right. So if you could help me. So I only got up to basically Ron Crawford here. So we need more if you could help me with that. Any of the plays that I need to put on my worksheet here, that would be
I'm looking for Ron Crawford's to begin with as well. So
yeah, we're early. I'm up early. Okay, so let's get into CFL right now, and let's rock. Jose will be back for MLB. Daby Cab will also be starring with us. It was great to have Flash get us rolling. What a great, great guy he is. Okay, let's go tonight, Friday, June 28th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Montreal Alouettes 3-0, 2-0 on the road at the Toronto Argonauts, 2-0 and 2-0 at home. We're at BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. I used to look out at BMO Field, but I stopped going outside because of the pigeons. 66 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 14 miles per hour. It's funny, we have one of Ella's friends lives a couple doors down, and the mom grew up in Parkdale, and I didn't bother going to anything, but she left because it was just too dangerous. And I didn't say anything. I just let that go. But it did has made me laugh for the last little bit. Too dangerous. Let's talk about this one here. So we cashed with the Elks last night. My 9-11 record is not acceptable. It's not good enough. This is not content for content's sake. Kong saying, did you get Kong's UFC Smash of the Week? Lopez KO at plus 240. I got it now, my man. I got it now. And Jose's going to be grabbing more action from us for us as well. So again, if you are on X, you're going to get my CFL action every Sunday. I moved on the Alouettes at minus 125. It made no sense to me. It made absolutely no sense to me. It's now minus 180. It got up to minus 200. I see a lot of best bets out there on the Alouettes minus 3, or I've seen some minus 3.5 at even money. If you roll with me on X, you're going to destroy these lines that other people are giving out as best bets. Minus 125 on the money line. I still like them minus 3, but again, there's no need for that. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We're going to be using Pinnacle lines, and I really, really like this football game. So I was on my way to go watch the Rough Riders game with a friend on Sunday, and I couldn't believe it was minus 125. I bet it, and then I was like, what am I doing? I got to start hitting these things harder when I think there's a mistake in the market, and I don't fear the market. I don't fear the market in CFL. So I bet it again. Now, I probably should have betted 3 or 4 units on it, but I only put 2 units on it, but still, it's helpful. So this opened up at Pinnacle on Tuesday at minus 3 at minus 107. It's moved 9 cents since then. It's never moved to 3.5 at Pinnacle. On the total, we already heard Colorado Bull moving on this total over 51. Again, it was 47 on Sunday. We have to take advantage of this if we're going to take gambling seriously. This total opened up at 50.5 on Tuesday and moved to 51. Look, there's limits that don't affect us. $250, $300 a bet. The limits don't affect me at all. So we can attack these lines. The Alouettes coming off a dominant 47-21 performance over the Red Blacks in their home opener. I was using the, what was that term I was using? It was like an explosion was about to happen with the Alouettes before that game, and the line moved against us, and we heard all the people why they were on the Red Blacks. this Alouettes team, and you almost never see this in professional sports, have won a championship and that their chip on their shoulder got bigger. They feel disrespected by the league. They have a bunch of French-Canadian players, especially Dequoy, their star defensive back, who feel that their language is being disrespected. The Argos were 18-2 last year, the class of the CFL. Didn't lose a game with Chad Kelly starting in the regular season. And they want to kick the Alouettes in the larynx and then stomp. That's what they want to do. They're not here to, get the wins. They despise the Argonauts. They despise the English-speaking fans. They want to beat this football team badly. Cody Fajardo looked incredible. He's on his way for CFL Most Outstanding Player of the, in our league. Why wouldn't he be with his offensive coordinator, Anthony Calvillo? Look at Fajardo. He's got his offensive coordinator, Calvillo, has won the Most Outstanding Player in CFL 3 times. His head coach, Jason Moss, I don't know if he ever got there. I don't know if he got there, but he was a good quarterback too. He's got a head coach and an offensive quarterback, or offensive coordinator who were star quarterbacks in our league. And don't, sell Anthony Calvillo short. Only 10 quarterbacks in professional football have ever thrown for 400 touchdowns. 10. The first 9, you want Favre, Moon, Manning, Marino, Brady, Breeze, Rivers, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, and Calvillo. 28 for 35, Fajardo went for 393 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran 5 times for 39 yards. I was thinking about how to handle this here. And, for you guys who didn't get in on the minus 125 with me and only had to deal with the minus 180 or whatever, maybe it should just be a parlay piece, but the minus 3 is fine. The minus 3 is fine if you didn't get the minus 125. Tyson Philpott, 8 catches for 150 yards. You guys know I was a huge fan of his dad running the football for my BC Lions. And he's at 23 years old. Not only is he probably the best wide receiver in the league right now because Tim White's floundering in Ottawa, but Tyson Philpott is a national. He's a Canadian. And you can only bring in so many Americans onto your roster. There's a limit. And when you have a superstar Canadian, it changes things. It changes. They're very valuable. So, last year's most valuable Canadian in the Grey Cup, Tyson Philpott, 340 yards receiving. Only Alexander Hollins has more. Keon Julian Grant, 8 catches for 116 yards. And Walter Fletcher's making everybody forget about Stanback. Walter Fletcher ran 12 times for 45 yards and caught 5 passes for 48 yards. And speaking one more thing for you guys, just to if this could tie in some of the American football fans in, is that's Utah State's Anthony Calvillo, Hall of Famer up here. So the Alouettes have opened up 3-0 for the first time since 2011. This franchise has been a doormat. It was sold out at the home opener. The Montreal Alouettes, we used to say this about the Rough Riders and the Bombers, the Montreal Alouettes could keep the CFL in business. That's how important it is to have a big city in Canada selling out CFL games. Let's talk about the Argos. An underwhelming 39-36 victory at home over the Elks. You could say watching the Elks play against the Alouettes and the Lions, maybe it's a little better than it looked. Yes, this is week 4 in the CFL, and this is their 3rd home game with a bye. That's all very, very helpful for the Argos. But their defense looks horrific. They let McLeod Bethel Thompson throw for 342 yards and 4 touchdowns. And that was with an extra week of prep. An extra week of prep. In their opener, they allowed Vernon Adams throw for 363 yards. They've given up 6 passing touchdowns in 2 games. Cameron Dukes looks good. Look, I'm on there over 9.5 wins. I thought that was a mistake over the whole Chad Kelly thing. 18-21 for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. They dominated on the ground. As a team, they ran for 186 yards, 3 touchdowns on 29 carries. Kadeem Carey looks spectacular, 104 yards on 19 carries. Only one receiver, DeMonte Coxey, the only one that caught over 28 yards. And now you're going to play this juggernaut with a chip on their shoulder that wants to destroy you. All right, so we will roll on. Great to see all of you guys. Lamont Williams here in the house. That's Monica. Says, first time that I found some analysis on Canadian football. It's great to see you. That's Monica. Respect. And we have Tampa Bay and Atlanta money line, max bet Atlanta run line. So I love it from our guy, Lamont Williams. Okay, let's move on to the next two games, and I'll be quick. So again, the next spot, I might middle some of these at times because we're beating these line moves so drastically on Sundays. I got in on the Stampeders at +5 on Sunday. And look, I understand that the powder keg, that's what we're calling the Alouettes, that the Bombers could be that, sitting at 0-3 as the preseason favorites to win the Grey Cup. Look, I get it. I get that, they would. This isn't. I didn't want to fade the Bombers, but the 5 made no sense. They don't know how good Jake Maier has been. He's been absolutely spectacular to start the year after just a horrifically pedestrian performance last year. This total is sitting at 47.5. It's one of the only total that hasn't moved. Opened up at 47.5 at Pinnacle. It was 47 on Sunday, so it has moved a half point from that. But on Tuesday, 47.5, and there's just been a 1 cent move to the under. There's been no movement. It's a very tight line. On the spread right now, the Bombers are 3.5 point favorites or 3. You can get that 3 at -121. At Pinnacle, it was -117 until about 30 minutes ago, so a 4 cent move. I said if I could get a 2.5, I would go for that middle. And that was a +5 at -110. All of these spots that I was attacking are -110 spots. I'm not paying a cent of extra vig on any of them. We're at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, Alberta, 69 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 15 miles per hour winds. So last night, the Elks could have won outright. We're in control. We're not in control of that game, but could have won outright. We're in that game from start to finish. And they'd lost 7 straight times to the BC Lions. The BC Lions had covered 7 straight times against the Elks. What do I care? I don't care. Bombers have beaten the Stampeders 9 of the last 10 times. What do I care? Zach Collaros does not look good. Schoen does not look good. Their wide receiver, their star wide receiver, dealing with a clear knee injury. Nick Dembski caught 8 passes for 94 yards. That ball touched his fingertips. The Bombers could have beaten the Lions. Now, maybe Vernon Adams goes down and it scores a 2-point convert and they put the game to overtime. But Dembski should have caught that football. I don't really trust Dembski that much. Brady Oliveira returned from injury to run 9 times for 64 yards, but he doesn't look healthy and that good. So Drew Wolodarski caught 7 passes for 72 yards. This was not the offense that I was expecting from Zach Collaros and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And their defenses looked much worse than we expected. They're allowing 385 yards per game. We know that the bye week in the CFL is not as helpful as the bye week in the NFL. And I can't explain why that is. I can't. Maybe they're not as professional as the NFL player. I mean, I can't tell you why that is. We watched the Argos come out of their bye and allow the Elks to put up 36 points. I can't explain that. But this Stamps team opened up their season with a 32-24 win at home over the Ticats, which we cashed. Jake Maier looked excellent, and he looked good again in that 26-17 loss at BC. That game was tied going into the fourth quarter. They just weren't able to get into the end zone. And Dedrick Mills ran 11 times for 46 yards, caught 6 passes for 99 yards, but he fumbled twice. And, he's going to be out for blood. I really like Dedrick Mills, but those fumbles, they rip the beating heart out of your chest. I said if I could get a 2.5, I'd go for a middle. I've got to win. And anytime in football, when I feel like I'm not winning at a level that I need to win at, I kind of let go of totals. And that's what I did this week. I'm on the Stampeders +5 at -110. And Joey Marinaccio moving them on the +3.5 at -110. And there's not a big difference, as we know, between the 3.5 and the 5s. Then finally, Sunday, June 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the lone game I haven't moved on. Hamilton Tiger Cats 0-3, 0-2 on the road at the Ottawa Redblacks. 1-1, 1-0 at home. We're at TD Place Stadium in Ottawa, Ontario. That's going to be empty. I mean, nobody's showing up for these Redblacks games. 65 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 13 miles per hour. So this is the game that's throwing me for a loop, and I can't explain it. If I can explain it, I'll still be able to attack it. I could explain the Alouettes Argos spot. The fourth week they've been at home. They've been basically training now at BMO Field for 2.5 months. I mean, it's a situationally a really nice spot for them, and they were the class of the league last year before they got upset in the Eastern Conference Final by the Alouettes. I could explain that. Here with Red Blacks, Ticats, the Ticats have looked abysmal. Slatsy said to me, when this gets to 2.5, because it looked like it was moving in the Ticats direction, he's going to move on the Ticats. It gets to 2.5, he moves on. Then it gets to 1. This is moved to 1, and I can't explain it. And that's kept me off of it at this point. Right now, there's pick'ems at a lot of these books. This hasn't moved since. Now, this didn't come out until Wednesday at Pinnacle. Opened up at +1, minus 109 for Hamilton, plus -1, minus 105 for Ottawa, and it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved. This total is sitting at 51.5. That's exactly where it opened. Thus far this year, I've bet on every single CFL game that's being played. And I don't know. I think I let this one go at this point. Both teams, because I want Ottawa, and I can't explain this move. So Tiger Cats, Red Blacks, TD Place. Both teams coming off terrible performances. Red Blacks coming off being annihilated by the Alouettes in Montreal, 47-21. They were down 17-1 at the half. At the quarter, after a quarter, 30-1 at the half, I believe it was that. Drew Brown was 21-35 for 292 yards, touchdown, interception, all came in garbage time. Justin Hardy caught 7 passes for 143 yards. Dominique Grimes was stymied, man. He was nowhere to be found. Tiger Cats coming off a 36-20 loss at Saskatchewan. Now, don't forget, we've seen the Red Blacks have a good game. They beat the Bombers in week 1. Now, that helped that it was week 1 for them. That helped. It was week 2 for the Bombers. That helped for the Red Blacks, that there was this storm midway through the game that took an hour and a half for them to get back on the field that seemed to help them. The Bo Levi Mitchell is not, I don't think he's good enough to be a quarterback in this league. And, I guess he is such a veteran that he doesn't need to blow the star wide receiver, because Tim White was targeted 6 times with 0 catches. He last year was clearly the best wide receiver in the CFL. And there's friction right now between Bo Levi Mitchell and Tim White. Shamar Bridges caught 9 passes for 113 yards, and Tim White, does nothing. James Butler was held to 10 yards on 5 carries. The Ticats have allowed the most points in the league through 3 weeks. Why in the world would the line be going towards them? I can't explain it. And we know that these books aren't ass clowns. We know that the books are raking in cash every day. If I can't figure it out, then I'd rather just bet on something else. So I've not moved on this one yet. That's the only one I have not moved on. Mally Mouse, it sounds like Ottawa. Look, I would, again, you hear cappers, Sean Higgs, Troy Torrance. You hear cappers that would rather have a 7.5 than a 6.5 on the favorite, because it means the books are saying this team's going to be in control. They'd rather have a 3.5 than a 2.5, because the books are saying they're going to be in control. They don't care about getting the better line. They want a sign from the books that the books are uncomfortable with the favorite. Well, that's not happening here. That is not happening here. Here we go. We have Diaper Constantino saying, "Dear Pete, Loshak, and PSR, thank you for the donation to my fundraiser. All the help meant the world to me about a cause of this special class act, and thank you." I'm not entirely sure the fundraiser that we are speaking of. Is that the one that Kong's clips? Are you friends with Kong? Is that one that Kong got us hooked up with? Let us know. I've not met many diapers in my life, so it's nice to meet you, Diaper Constantino. Kelsey, thank you for the kind words. It's great to see all you guys. That is our CFL breakdowns. Nate Dogg on Toronto moneyline and the full game over, going for the score. Nate Dogg also on Ottawa moneyline. Look, I get it. I get it. What's helped us in MLB, even though I'm sitting here down 5 units on the season, but God, did I save money yesterday that I would have lost, is respecting the marketplace. And again, you have complete autonomy with how you want to attack sports gambling. And your record will tell the story here. Your record will tell. Oh, that wasn't Kong. Okay. Let's roll into MLB. Fresh off 7+ units in a single day. Has Jose Sweet Tea Tits Bouquet caught fire? Because it's something that we all need desperately. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101. Okay, Diaper. From Southtown 101, please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show.
Hello again. Yeah, Diaper's an interesting guy. He's on his own little wavelength there.
Yeah, it's a wild thing here when we have cappers come into the chat because that there are some that are just trying to mess with us, and we need to stay focused. And old Diaper, big fan of Peter. Can't spell his name, but big fan of Peter. Jose, let's get to work. We have best bets here as well from our guy. Best bets here as well from our guy, Dabra Cadabra. So let's get right to work, Jose. This is a tricky card. I've only moved on one bet pre-show. How many of you moved on?
0. I haven't moved on any pre-show in a long time now because I just cap it all together, and it's very nice.
It's helpful. It is helpful. Okay, let's get to work, my friend. And did we get a word from Mr. Dami Gunrichi? We did not. So, okay. So Dami Gun will not be joining us today. Let's roll. Viper MB says Phillies -1.5 is the only bet he's got locked in. Let's roll. 6:20 p.m. Eastern, Miami Marlins 29-52, 13-25 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 53-28, 31-13 at home. Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get right into the weather to get us started. I've got a couple of these things I got to set up a little bit. Here we go. And I need to refresh the weather as it's been up on my computer for about 17 hours. So let's refresh the weather here for game 1 today on the board in Philadelphia. 80 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour out to left field, gets up to 11 miles per hour to left field. So we have Kyle Tyler. It just had his first career start on June 23rd. 4 hits, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and 6-4 win at home over the Mariners. This is not an easy spot for Kyle Tyler. And we have Kyle Tyler confirmed. Yes. Okay, good. Let's get into the line history here for this one against Cristobal Sanchez. We have here the Phillies at -217. They opened up at -268. That is a huge, huge move at Pinnacle towards your Miami Marlins. A monstrous move. Now, you could say that it wasn't lined correctly. That would be fair. That would be fine. This total is at 8.5 -112 to the under. There's been a 12-cent move to that under. Let's get into the cash flow here. From a cash flow perspective, Wine Time saying it's unfortunate to see Harper starting to get hurt every year, similar to Mike Trout. So let's get into this cash flow for, oh shoot, that's not it. Sorry. Get the cash flow up for game 1. Here we have 90% of the tickets, 86% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. We have 93% of tickets and 90% of cash on the under. Sanchez has been excellent this year, coming off a spectacular start at home versus Arizona. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4 Ks, no walks. He's been so good this year. He's allowed 1 home run. Christopher Sanchez has 1 home run in 84 1/3 innings. I mean, is that not spectacular? That is spectacular. Marlins versus lefties, 222, 603 OPS. And the Phillies versus righties, 269, 769 OPS. Mikey Money says, pretty sure that the line move is related to the players getting hurt yesterday. Why don't we see exactly when this giant move took place? Because that is a fair appraisal of the situation. This line moved at 9:29 this morning. There was a 33-cent move at 9:29 this morning. So big move to the fish. Marlins don't hit lefties, 222, 603 OPS. The Phillies smash righties, 269, 769 OPS. Marlins bullpen, 3.73 ERA, 1.19 whip since June 1st. These are all numbers since June 1st, while the Phillies bullpen has been spectacular, 2.47 ERA, 1.04 whip. Take it away, Jose. Shout out to Reginald Codes and Benjamin Mills. And WT in the house says at the Tamarina packed with Ricas. Oh man, you're lucky, WT. I'm very, very jealous. Rodney says both Harper and Correa went down yesterday. Of course, Correa over with the Twinkies. Take it away, Jose. Marlins, Phillies.
Yeah, newsflash: these guys are getting old. Yeah, that is in fact what is happening. But yeah, I think Correa probably broke his wrist or something, yesterday. Shout out to Sharpie, who I've seen cash these at such an alarming rate that I kind of want to join. Honestly, I mean, he's talked about the watering the infields in Philadelphia, ground ball pitcher. Over outs for Christopher Sanchez at home. He's 5-0 in his last 5-0 last 10 games. He's averaged 20 and a half outs in a game. He's 18 and a half is plus 136, and it's on Sharpie's card. I was looking for it right now at our friends at Bet Online. They had 18 just flat at minus 140. So I don't know if I could bet that. So I'm looking for that. 18 and a half plus 130 on Bovada. Seems like is what I'll be betting in this game. So that's what we'll be doing. I'm just jumping on the Sharpie train there. So no, I'm trying. I guess I'm being a little bit of a poser there. Sorry, Sharpie, but I know where the money train is, and I'd like to join you, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I'm still copying and pasting action here from the cappers in the chat. So I just saw Sharpie's look there, and I will keep copying and pasting the action here.
Yeah, there's some starred for you. The starred comments I put for you so you can see as well.
Okay, yeah. Dope. Thank you.
So shout out to you, Sharpie. But I'm on that. No sidewise, obviously. And Kyle Tyler is a kind of an unknown, and he has a little bit of an advantage in that sense against the Phillies. But I'll be interested to see. No Harper, no Schwarber. Is the shortstop going to show up and participate today? So we'll see how this Phillies lineup goes, and if they're going to if these guys are going to get hurt, let them get hurt now and not in October.
Let's talk about Kyle Tyler, just so everybody knows the situation. I went over him last night. He's not a highly thought of prospect. 27 years old, and he made his MLB debut back in 2021 as a 24-year-old with the Angels, and he looked pretty good. He didn't start. He was just out of the bullpen of 12 and a third innings. 2022, he's right back in the PCL league. He gets traded to the Padres during that time. They bring him up for 2 games, again, just out of the bullpen. So then here this year, he has got his, as I said, his first start of 2023. He's only thrown 6 innings this year. In AAA this year, he started, and he started really in AA in 2023, getting a bunch of starts. That was the first time in about 5 years that he had got the opportunity to start. And in AAA this year, he's been excellent. 4-2, 2.80 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. They're telling us that Tyler's going to have a good start here. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day is in. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. Miami plus 1.5 and the under 8.5. Also took Miami and the under 8 at plus 475. Jose, as soon as we got these graphics up, now this isn't the graphic. This is just for us. This is just for you, me, and our fans and friends in the chat, our family in the chat.
No one look at her hands.
We'd like to always give you guys new and delightful older women. We don't want to get caught up with the same older women because, I might have been, overdoing her, and, I might have been overdoing her. And that's not right. We want to give you fresh looks. And that's important to us here. We don't want to be stale. Okay. The grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day is in. And it is Miami plus 1.5 and the under 8.5. I think that and shout out to Mikey Money. I think that the under's got to be live here, except there are things that are hurting this. One being the weather. I mean, it's not that hot at first pitch, but it is blowing out. But then it starts blowing out just to the pole. What do you think here? Fabiano says turning into the show for all the right reasons, man. Fabiano, I love that. Thank you and welcome. And Kelsey said, "Thank you for representing older women." Yeah, Kelsey, no, I feel you. Let's
Someone has to.
Yeah, so yeah, we're building something here, but these bullpens are pitching really well, and don't forget, we took a lot of heat. We took a lot of heat, TJ and I, when we said the White Sox bullpen's pitching well. Now you're starting to see it. The Marlins bullpen and the Phillies bullpen are both pitching well. Sanchez is going to shut down these Marlins. Why are we not on the full game under here?
I mean, I think Christopher Sanchez pitches well. Obviously, that's the key to the game is how does Kyle Tyler pitch, and 93% of the bets, 91% of the money definitely leads me toward an under. And I'm pretty sure you've mentioned this. Bet online, it opened at 8.5 minus 120. Now it's 8.5 minus 116 to the under. That 120 was to the over there. So line is semi-flipped, but I don't have enough confidence in Kyle Tyler. And again, this is going to be the weakest Phillies lineup of the year, probably. So
I think this is an under 8.5 here. Gerald Jones says that under smells good. So I'm very, very interested in the under 8.5 here. I've got no question marks by it. So I plan on betting it. Boss 702 on Jays, Royals, Mets. And I tell you, the only bet I've made is the Royals first 5. That's the only bet that I've made today. And speaking of price differences, because it means so much to me on these first 5s. Pinnacle, Jose, had a 17-cent price difference. I don't ever see them have that big of a price difference on the first 5 full game. The full game for the Royals plus 107, first 5 minus 110. That is a big price difference there. Okay. JT Eel said, except he's about due for under outs, and it's at 18.5. Sanchez pitching 2 7-inning games in a row. Okay.
I've got to jump on it at some point, JT, and it's just something I'm gonna keep betting at home. So you might be right.
Also, Sharpie, you run with Sharpie, you're in good company to get that cash. All right, that is game 1 today on the show. Let's roll on. Next up, 6:50 p.m. Eastern, we have the Washington Nationals 38-42, 21-23 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 40-41, 21-24 at home. We're at the Trop. So I almost moved on this game. The market didn't push me in the right direction. So when I don't feel like I need to beat any market move or anything like that, which I probably didn't even need to get the Royals bet in. But when I feel like I don't need to beat any market move, I just would much rather talk it out with you guys. Jarek White is on the Nats money line with Mitchell Parker. There's certain times when the stress has my back, littered with knots. I'm in pain. I'm just like uncomfortable, worrying about my bankroll, worrying about my family, worrying about all this stuff. And it's hard. This is hard work. And there's other times, we throw on, some pictures here of, some femme de fatales, and well, that's not our best work. That's not your best work, Jose. that was not your best work, Jose. That was not your best work, Jose. I had to get her off pretty quick. But then I start feeling good about what we're doing here. And I I'm excited to cap this card with you guys today. Let's go out there and get that cash.
I'm glad. See, we've got the older women represented. We have the younger women represented, and Kelsey, we're still just waiting for her to make her on-screen debut, obviously. But we're all over the spectrum here today. This is a great time.
Mitchell Parker versus Zach Eflin. Let's start with the line history here. That we got to cut that one though. We got to cut that.
Why? What? She looked good.
You got to cut that one. No, we need new space for new women, man. You can't just keep showing them over and over and over again. Okay, here we go. We have Zach Eflin sitting at minus 153, opening up at minus 147. There was this move towards Eflin last night. It came back a few cents, and I almost moved on the Rays. Now we have 6 cents of action towards them. Let's get to the total. This total is sitting here at 7.5. That's where it opened at Pinnacle. You could have seen some 8s that were heavily juiced to the under at minus 125. That's a possibility. We have stacks on Yander Diaz. over 1.5 bases at plus 100 here. And BJ, best bets are on the Rays and the Giants. Best bets are on the Rays and the Giants. So let's dive into this one a little more here. Let's go into the cash flow. We know that there has been no move. There's been a 10-cent move to the over. And at 8:54 this morning, there had been a move to the under. So there has been a switch there. Let's get into the cash flow for this next spot. We have 2% of the tickets and 1% of the cash on the under. Now, we're dealing with that yesterday. We're going to be dealing with that throughout the hot summer. All the money, all the tickets coming in on the over. We have 83% of tickets and 91% of the cash on the Tampa Bay Rays. So, Troy Torrance says low key. Database says over. 101. Benny says Flair to give 5 runs, still cash flow play today over 6.5Ks. Attaboy 101 Benny, respect.
Nice.
And that's something that Sharpie talks a lot about. Is that if you're focusing on strikeouts, some of the other angles aren't as important, like getting the W. So Nationals Rays, Mitchell Parker, the lefty, coming off an 8-7 loss in the thin air Colorado. That's okay. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks, still pretty good. He's been excellent this year. 3.30 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. Only he's allowed 7 home runs in 73 2/3. On the road, he's been quite a bit worse than he's been at home. On the road, 4.07 ERA, opponents hitting 247 against him, and he has 34 Ks and 15 walks. To expand on that, at home this year, now he's had more innings on the road than he's had at home, 42 on the road, and only 31 2/3 at home. He's walked 2 batters at home this year, Jose. 2. That's what Mitchell Parker's doing at home. So at home, 24 Ks, 2 walks. On the road, 34 Ks, 15 walks. He's just having a more difficult time. Then we have Zach Eflin coming off, allowing 4 earned runs at the Pirates. He's been looking better. Why? Because he shoves it home. This guy just continually shoves it home. At home, 2-1, 2.90 ERA. Here's another guy who's only walked 2 batters at home. 21 Ks and 2 walks with a 242 opponent's batting average. The Rays are raking against lefties. 268, 740 OPS. The Rays have an advantage in the bullpen. The Rays have an advantage everywhere. They're hitting 268, 740 against lefties. Now you could say Parker's better than Eflin. Is Parker on the road better than Eflin at home? Maybe that's just a wash. Why are we not on the Rays -1?
I'm not on the Nationals here, and Mitchell Parker is one of my guys. The Rays hit lefties too well for me to back them here. The Nationals not hitting righties as well. So I'd agree with you. I don't take -1s or anything like that because I have a horrible record, and I think it's hard enough to get a win in and of itself. But yeah, I agree. I'd probably be on the Rays if anything. I just pass this game because I like Mitchell Parker, and I still think he has the potential to pitch well. It's just the Rays hitting lefties has scared me. So no action.
I've been going through my record. You always have to go through your action. And the 4s have been a struggle for me on the first 5, although I like the first 5 on the 4. Now, Regident says Rays bullpen bad. Look, I'm not going to tell you that they're good, but I will tell you that a 4.03 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP, that's a pretty nice WHIP, is quite a bit, not since June 1st, is quite a bit better than the Nats bullpen. Topset says, what's Eflin's record versus Nats? When it's an American League pitcher, I know that, Eflin wasn't always American League. I don't even really care. It's not like this young Nats lineup has seen Eflin a lot of times, but let's let Jose answer that. Jose, can you find us? And Brahma B saying, Mitchell Parker's my guy. Yes, but maybe he should just be your guy at home. I kind of like the first 5 under. I kind of do, but I'm not going to get there. I don't think. I think it's just a Rays -1 for me. What are the numbers against the opposition?
I do not remember Zach Eflin's Philly era, apparently.
Yeah.
But he was the last time he saw them as a starter was in 2022. 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. In 21, he went 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. The players that have seen him on the squad, Harold Ramirez, 9 at-bats, 2 hits. Patrick Corbin even has at bats off of him, which is kind of hilarious. Luis Garcia is the only one that's hitting him, and CJ Abrams is 1 for 2 against him. But Luis Garcia, 4 hits, 7 at bats, a double, and 2 strikeouts, 2 RBIs. The rest have not seen him much. Jesse Winker, Eddie Rosario, and like I said, like Keibert Ruiz, Lane Thomas, and CJ Abrams. I've seen him combined 4 times.
Rays -1 is on my card. Rays -1 is on my card. And Jose, you are staying off and watching me cash.
Yes, hopefully so.
Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the Texas Rangers 37-44, 17-25 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles 51-30, 27-16 at home. Shout out to BJ, who was bullish on the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. That was, I mean, Jose, are we at the point now where the Orioles are hitting over 900 OPS versus righties? The difference between the Orioles versus righties and the Rangers versus righties is beyond comprehension.
Yep. Best versus worst.
Yep. Are we at the point, though, where we should also be backing them every day like Timothy Earl?
That's a good question. And shout out to Tim, by the way, who's doing like it's so funny. He's doing his own like gambling analysis through his own bets. He's also fading. I don't know if you've seen this as well. He's also fading the Dodgers every day.
Has he been doing that all year?
Yeah, I think he's been doing that all year. And I had the tweet. I saw him tweet about it the other day. And I have to look for it now. Scroll back in his Twitter, but he's also doing that as well as betting the Orioles every day. And just shout out to him because it might actually it might be Nick who's doing it. Obviously, I get the fucking two confused all the time, but they both are doing good shit. So shout out to the Earl brothers. But I mean, I think that way about the Guardians, honestly. I really do. Like, this is a really, really good Guardians team in the regular season. And the Orioles have finally taken first place from the Yankees as well. So it can go back and forth. Yeah, honestly.
What is the Orioles? Can you look up the Orioles to win the division while I set this up? The question here, of course, is Max Scherzer. And Suarez just got touched by the Astros. One thing that I've noticed over the last just short sample size is these pitchers that are having spectacular years. Well, I guess, damn, Shota kind of bucked that system, but Suarez has been unbelievable. 2.70 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. We didn't see him for 7 years. He wasn't pitching in the show for 7 years. At home, he's got a 1.88 ERA. He's allowed 1 home run in 24 innings, and he's got a 228 opponent's batting average. Now, the Rangers are not hitting righties, so there's no real concern. But I don't believe that Albert Suarez can keep this up. I just don't. And maybe that's a mistake. Mally Mal says, Mad Max gives me a pause to fade Texas. Mad Max won at home versus a Royals team that's not hitting righties. Now he's facing you know what? I'm talking myself into a move on the Baltimore Orioles and possibly an over. 81 Fahrenheit, 10.5 miles right to left to the left field pole. We have the line history here. Let me get Kyle Taylor off of this thing. From a line history standpoint, we have the first 5 up. That first 5 is at 4.5 at -112. I almost bet this earlier today, and I didn't. This opened up at 4 -121. 4 minutes later, they show the 4.5. It's not a real 4.5. It's plus 106 to the over. But like 15 minutes after that, now it's -103 to the over. I mean, so clearly the over was being smacked by sharp action. Now it's juiced to the over at -112. And why wouldn't it be, honestly? Because if I don't trust Suarez that much, I mean, why can't the Rangers scrape across 1 or 2? But it's Scherzer who I kind of want to fade. We're gonna look.
What if I told you this line went down to -119 for the Orioles instead of -128?
Yes, I'm seeing that -119 now. And when was that move? That move happened at 11:04 a.m. Or the main move, the 128 to 120. I mean, what, you want me to sit back and expect Justin Scherzer to get through this Baltimore Orioles lineup? There are no fairy tales in Shawshank, man. I do not. I do not believe he can do that. 82% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the Orioles. That makes me uncomfortable. The total is 93% of tickets and 95% of cash on the over, and it's not moving. Now, Troy Torrance sees a 30-cent move towards the Rangers, and of course, you're going to take information from what book you're studying, and or what multiple books here. So, take it away for us here. Did I say Justin?
Yeah, you said Justin Scherzer. I thought you were thinking of McElvey there. You've got McElvey on the mind, I get it.
Sorry about that. Yeah, there. Obviously it's Maximus Scherzer. I know his full name isn't Maximus, but take it away here, Jose. This market move towards the Rangers with all the money on the Orioles, I guess it gets me off of the bet. Gets me off of it.
Yeah, no, I was sitting there right there with you. I was going to bet the Orioles here today, but yeah, that line moving kind of sketches me out. And then the other option, obviously, is to bet an over in this game. And in this case, I would have loved to see this move to a 9, but it's 8.5 minus 115 to the under. Opened up now minus 120, and we're starting to see some 8s as well pop up in this game. So I'm staying off. I just I can't do it. I do want to fade Scherzer though. I really do, but maybe today is not today. It seems.
Well, Reginald Code says money coming in on the Rangers. So I have no proof of that. I have 3% of cash on the Rangers. I think that the market is just making the Orioles more appealing. Okay, well, you know what? The market keeping me off of plays yesterday saved me a bunch of cash. I like that.
Semi-interested in the Rangers, honestly. We talk about these spots often, Jimmy, about how it gets us off one side, but it doesn't get us to flip to the other side here. So I will have the Rangers in the back of my head all day now. Or all show, I should say.
Fabiano says the market hasn't respected the Orioles in a year. And LQ says, who cares? He says, I care. Scherzer won 4-0, and he's going to do it again. Again, though, I could tell you what the Royals have been doing against righties because they're going up against Tristan McKenzie, and I'm backing them despite their soft sticks. Royals are hitting 218, 659 OPS versus righties since June 1st. 218, 659. And the Orioles are hitting 904 OPS with a 288 average. Look, I'll let you guys rock with that. I'm not going to. Topset says feels like Rangers first 5 is the play. I respect your thoughts. I respect the market, and I'll stay off. Jose,
by the way, Orioles plus 125.
Say what?
Division. The division plus 125.
How can the Yankees possibly keep up with this baseball team?
Here's the thing. We obviously know if we're going to rely on one team to be aggressive at the trade deadline, it's going to be the Yankees over the Orioles. So there'll be reinforcements.
Unless you're listening to Cashman.
Yeah. And
if you listen to him, you think they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything in the offseason. That they don't have the money. They're trying to cut. I mean, he's not going out. So like I don't mean to because you're right.
No, you're right.
What we expect, but
no, you're right. I would love for that to all be true, though. I would love for them to have to cut cost as well. And you know what? If we're just lining up farm systems, we know who has a better farm system to go out and get some prospects. So I don't hate it. I personally would rather have a little more than plus 125 on futures, but it's kind of funny that the Yankees they're minus 190 and they're down. Or I guess not, down, but they're not leading the division. So that's very interesting.
It didn't come clear to me that the Yankees were weak offensively. Now, look, I know Soto and Judge are the, two of the best in the world, other than Freeman, Ohtani, and whatever. But it didn't occur to me until I started watching this team that I was like, oh, as soon as you get through them, you can, sit back and relax for 2 innings.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't wait to see how all this unfolds, but plus 125 is not bad. I just would rather have, I wish we would have gotten it earlier, I guess, kind of what we're saying.
Yeah, I know, but I needed to see things a little bit clear as well. Jason Torres being on the Orioles to win the ALs before the season. What did you get, Jason? What was the line for that? Do you remember what it was for the Orioles to win the division?
I do not know.
Could you let us know, Jason?
Okay. I would guess they were the favorite, but I don't know. So Yankees obviously were up there, and they're obviously a very public team. So.
Another thing that's happened, though, is thank you, Jason. Another thing that's happened is this bullpen from the Yankees looks atrocious. Let's get into that game right now. 7:07 p.m. Eastern with the New York Yankees, 52-31, 28-17 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 37-43, 19-19 at home. Kong's clips on the World Series for the Orioles. Mount Austin Yankees was the favorite. Daby Cab says set up in his car, ready to go because his power is out again. Okay, we'll get that figured out here. But let's roll. Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. The roof is going to be open.
Plus 230, by the way.
They were plus 230. See, I was, like you said, you liked the Yankees to win the division, to win the World, or no, the Phillies to win the World Series, but to play the Yankees. You like Yankees to win the division. Do you still like the Yankees to win the division?
No, I said the other day, I think it was yesterday, but I was like, if I had to pick between the two teams that I said, and if you gave me like a highway exit to get off the Yankees bandwagon, I definitely would rather. I think I would over the Phillies for sure. Like the Phillies, I feel like injuries, sure, but I still think they're going to be there. The Yankees, I just don't know and it's on top of their lineup not being good. Rodon again, and I said yesterday, this is Rodon's last chance for me. Like if you don't pitch well against the Toronto Blue Jays team, who we've talked about all years offensively not good, and especially against lefties this month, they've been bad, and he got fucking crushed. He got crushed. So he's not going to be a guy that I trust in the postseason. He'll be the guy that's not going to make the postseason roster if and when they get there. And it's crazy to me. So it's on top of it's kind of everything kind of collapsing all at once. The thing that I feel the most confident about with them is their lineup, honestly. And it's saying something over their pitching staff and bullpen, because their bullpen is falling apart too. And we've, for the last 5-6 years, we thought the Yankees could just come up with these arms out of thin air. But teams like the Red Sox, for example, have taken Yankees relievers in Rule 5 drafts and have taken their, depth from them. So it's a very interesting thing there as well. So if I had to pick who wins the division right now, it'd be the Orioles. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I bet it. Now I know plus 125 is not what we're looking for. That would just be my third future. That's it. I only have two futures right now. The Jays
by the way,
6.5 wins. Yeah.
Speaking of your futures.
Yeah.
The Astros to win the division plus 175.
Yeah. It's not going down as fast. I'd like it. But I got plus 375. When I moved on it. Okay, let's roll here and keep flying. Next up for us, we have a passionate glory hole in the chat, but Daby only calls him passionate glory because I think it does give you two different ideas when you add the hole or leave the hole out.
I typically never leave the hole out. So.
No, I respect that about you. That about you.
How do you feel about Stroman coming back home?
I'll be playing his music all day, man. I'll be playing music all day. Look, I like Stro Show. I've always liked Stro Show. 7-3, 3.15 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. He's got fascinating statistics. On the road in 45 1/3, he has 23 strikeouts and 22 walks. That's what he's done. And somehow he's been able to get through with a 5-1 record on the road, 2.18 ERA, and 226 opponents batting average. Coming off an 8-3 win at home, allowed 3 earned runs over 6 2/3 against a weak-hitting Braves squad. Going up against Yusei Kikuchi, we've got DC Capper in the house. He's on Yankees in the over 8. He's also on the Orioles in that Rangers-Orioles matchup. Kikuchi, 4.74 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. He's not looked good, but he's been, going up against the Guardians. He's been good at home this year. And if you had offered 2 years ago, like last year, you said, we'll give you Kikuchi, we'll give you a 4 ERA. Do you want it? We'll be like, oh, we'd be ecstatic. But then he looked phenomenal last year. Yeah. And we know Kikuchi's being traded.
Yes.
Kikuchi's being traded soon. He's a piece that will be going. So they want him to pitch well here. And the Yankees aren't hitting lefties hard. 229, 732 OPS. The Blue Jays aren't hitting righties hard, but may have gathered some confidence last night. 239, 685 OPS. The Blue Jays bullpen is pitching better. And yes, Kelsey, Ella's favorite pitcher, you say Kikuchi, she'll be very upset. This actually will be the first time she's faced this. So I'll be interested to see how she handles
this
it.
is going to be great. I love this. I cannot, I've told Helga this often. I cannot wait to record my child's sports heartbreaks. I want the tears. I want all of it. I want to document it all. I cannot wait for all of that stuff.
No, there's only been one thing I wish I had documented is when I told Ella that she was having a brother and not a sister, because I didn't realize how funny it would be. I just didn't realize she scream cried. Like she immediately scream cried. Like I'd never, like I didn't, and I was too, like I had no idea that was going to be the funniest moment of her life. That was the only thing that I missed. Now, this Blue Jays bullpen, 4.34 ERA, 1.22 whip since June 1st. Now, that's without Jimmy Garcia, who's our best bullpen arm. And that's also without Jordan Romero, who's...
He fucking sucks, and he's gone, too.
No, I don't think he sucks. And if you look at his numbers, he doesn't suck. Although everybody says that. Everybody says that.
Get him out. Get him out.
Okay, so there we go. That is the setup for this one. Let's talk line history here for Jays Yankees. Over at Pinnacle, Yankees are sitting here at minus 108. They opened up at plus 106. 14 cents of movement. That says the Yankees are going to keep struggling. I wish the Jays numbers weren't so horrific against lefties, because I watched the Yankees. Something's wrong with the Yankees right now. And yeah, it won't last that long, but something's wrong with the Yankees right now. We get to the totals here. This is sitting at 8. It's minus 101 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, dropped to 8, back up to 8.5, and dropped to 8. So we've seen U-shaped movement on this one. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 35% of the tickets and 2% of the cash on the Toronto Blue Jays, and yet this market moves towards them. I mean, that's wild. On the total, we have 97% of tickets, 98% of cash, and it's bouncing up and down. Take it away for us, Jose. Yankees, Blue Jays.
Yeah, Ella better sit down and watch this start, because this is going to be Yusei Kikuchi's last win for the Toronto Blue Jays here. Now, I actually don't know that because I don't know who's placing yet. But Blue Jays money line for me here. Kikuchi starts against the Yankees. Shockingly good. Like, well, I guess not that shocking, but 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. 5 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs. 5 innings, 1 earned run. 6 innings, 1 earned run. Hit a few relief appearances in 22. He started 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. I mean, just dominance though from last year and the year before. And we've kind of established that those 2 years he's kind of a really good pitcher. Maybe different than he is now, but I still think he can dominate this Yankees lineup. I like Marcus Stroman coming back to his old stomping grounds, getting, a little emotional. Then he gets all riggedy and gets fucked up by this. Not great, but, interesting Blue Jays lineup. The thing that scared me, Jimmy, I don't know if you saw this, but did you see Bouquett? A reporter asked him if he would be surprised if he got traded, and he said, nope, not at all.
That wasn't just a reporter. That's our favorite reporter, and that's Kevin Barker's wife.
Sure.
She is our favorite reporter. She's always been our favorite reporter. But yeah, there's not a good feeling here in the clubhouse. I mean, it's not the Hildebrand, sinking ship. Hildebrand sinking ship. But it's bad. This is a wild move towards the Blue Jays. Don't you think? A huge move with 2% of the cash.
They're minus 108. Yeah, on my site now. Or on Bet Online, I should say, specifically. So, yeah, I'm on them. I'm going to be on them. I think they win this game, and we just sit back and point and laugh at the Yankees' ineptitude. And you know what the best part about it, too? It's the good thing they've got a manager that's been there for a bunch of years that has a great track record with these players, and I'm sure everyone's confident we'll turn this ship around. So, I can't wait. By the way, Jimmy, I just want to let you know this. This is just us two talking. We're in the trust tree right now. We appreciate all those who are watching, but this is just me and Jimmy talking.
Prefer not to be in the tree, but sure.
We're in the trust tree, though.
Okay.
If the Yankees have another, disappointing season and fire Aaron Boone, and my manager goes to the Yankees, I will scream cry. I will scream cry like Ella,
Okay.
and there will be. I'm gonna cry now thinking about it. There is not one thing that could hurt me more than Alex Cora joining the Yankees next year, and I'd be just distraught. But those are just like my deep thought, like deep dark thoughts that I don't let anyone hear, and that's why I tell my dad these things.
Yes. Yeah. He's probably not listening. Fabiano says, such a big move. It makes me like the Yanks. Can you explain that, Fabiano? Because I don't understand it. We have 62% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the Yankees, and we have a move towards the Jays. Just so I know, I'm always going to be interested to hear how other cappers find their angles.
So my initial reading, and I've thought about that as well, because the over bets that keep hitting because of the all the market goes down, blah 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 blah. We've had that conversation, and I remember you talking about this during football season. It's like these guys are making these lines with fucking supercomputers and shit, and when the line goes down so far from the original spot, I can understand like why people are betting, that side or whatever you mean. But I'd love to hear Fabiano, obviously your reasoning as well. But that's kind of something that I've been thinking about recently with those over bets and fucking under all the over money and all that shit, and goes under. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, no, and when there's that big of a move, how can the original line be so wrong by the super?
Exactly.
No, I get that. So you were on the Toronto Blue Jays here.
Yeah, minus 108. So,
well, I'm interested in joining you.
Justin, I would 100% would cry with actual tears if Alex Cora joined the Yankees. It would be the most devastating. It would hurt just as bad, almost worse, of the WBC thing.
So yeah, Fabiano saying that what you've said, that he thinks the value is transferred to the Yank side, basically. So
yeah, and then 4-game losing streak for the Yanks, by the way.
I respect the books more than I respect perceived value, but I can understand that some people don't, and that's part of the fun of capping here. Jose's on the Jays minus 108. I'm very interested in it. We have one more game before Daby Cab joins us here. Let's roll into it. And by the way, we have Mikey Money and Rod Zwacky heads up on Yerfy Nerfy battle. Oh. Heads up. And Gerald Jones got that plus 110 in the morning. Respect.
Nice. That's great.
Mikey Money says Yanks game 2s at night, 74-30, and same league bounce back spots, 53-25. In a regular situation, something's wrong with the Yankees team. And that lineup is just, I find it so easy to pitch against. Now, I would not give anything to Soto and Judge. I would rather walk them, not give them anything. But
yeah, no, pitch around them and deal with Trent Grisham. Deal with Gleyber Torres.
JD Davis hitting cleanup. Come on.
Ben Rice.
Craig Wood says, any pigeons in the trust tree? Yes. Jose's trust tree is filled with pigeon shit. It's just,
my God, so much.
It's just fucking hideous. Let's roll. Next up for us, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, with the Colorado Rockies, 27-53, 11-29 on the road at the Chicago White Sox, 22-61, 14-28 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. We have the Torpedo pitching here, Drew Thorpe, and he's throwing 14 and third big league innings, but this is his first home start. All three of those starts were on the road. Now he gets that home start. And the White Sox are hitting lefties a little bit harder than the Rockies are hitting righties. Let's get into, and the White Sox bullpen's a lot better than the Rockies bullpen. Now I know the thin air is a part of that, but let's get into the line history here and the weather in this one. In Chicago, we have 84 Fahrenheit, feels like 86, and 14.9 miles per hour right to left, but in. Right to left, but in. Not straight in, but in. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We got the Torpedo and the White Sox at minus 120. There's a minus sign beside the White Sox, and it's not Crochet on the mound. 8-cent move towards the Chicago White Sox. There was, at one point, a bigger one. It was 1 point minus 125. But we have an 8-cent move towards the Chicago White Sox. From a total side of things here, we have a 9 at Pinnacle. This opened up at 8.5. There was a move to 9. It wasn't a real 9 around 1 in the morning. back to 8.5. And then now we have another move to a 9. Again, it's not it's plus 106 to the over. So it's not a real 9. But the opener was 8.5 minus 101 to the over. So there is a real move towards the over. Let's get into the cash flow here. We have for this White Sox spot, we have 75% of the tickets and 31% of the cash on the Chicago White Sox. So bigger bets are coming in on the Colorado Rockies. On the total, we have 83% tickets, 88% cash on the over. Gerald Jones says pass on bum fights. And Roy Torrance says bad teams lose like bums in this market. Which one's the bad team?
Yeah.
That's
a good question.
Dakota Hudson is not a pitcher that to be trusted, but against the Dodgers, he was spectacular. But now he's going to be in front of a few thousand fans at Guaranteed Rate Field. Dakota Hudson, his last start, he allowed 8 earned runs at home versus the Nats, but on the road, so overall 5.63 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. He's terrible. 41 Ks, 38 walks. Maybe you could just say he's terrible, and maybe Jose will say that, and that's fair. But on the road, he's got a 3.07 ERA, and opponents are hitting 197 against him. Then we have the Torpedo. First home start, coming off a great home start against the Tigers. Great start against the Tigers, his first home start. Rockies versus righties, 245, 690 OPS. White Sox versus lefties, 247, 711. I already talked about the bullpen advantage for the White Sox. Take it away, Jose. Rockies, White Sox.
Yeah, I've been in Torpedo is a hilarious name. So shout out to him. I've been on every start of his first 5 to start it off. And I like him a lot. And here's obviously one that's going to challenge me a little bit because it's obviously first 5 minus 135 there. But
Jesus,
should I just take the full game? Why would I be worried about a White Sox bullpen that's been pitching well against a Rockies lineup that sucks? Now, both of these teams against righties suck dick and balls. We know that. I mean, at this point, it is known. They're both bottom 2 full season against righties, and they're 26th and 27th this month. I just think Drew Thorpe, at the end of the day, we have a better pitcher. I'll trust the White Sox lineup at home here, and I have their bullpen advantage. So, Mikey said that everyone's on the White Sox today. I looked at the bet splits here. 75% of the bets on the White Sox, only 31% of the money on them is definitely concerning for me here. But at least this line has moved up 5 cents in the small moves that it has make up to the White Sox. So I'll do it. White Sox full game for me, minus 125.
Wow. White Sox full.
I'm all aboard the Torpedo, guys.
I want the first 5 under with Mikey money, but I can't do it if the market's pushing it to the over. But of course, I think maybe this should be the one of the very, very, very few times that I will go up against the market. Because I can at least explain it.
Yeah, you said the other day, I went up against the market, I lost, but sometimes it's just good to go up against the market. You can't follow it every time, and that's what we do with the over trend that Mikey loves. But shout out to Troy for dropping some good stats here. I'll give you guys the stats here. He's saying home teams with a line between 130 and minus 110. Market moves towards the home team, and the public is on the home team. The road team is 22-9 straight up, and home teams with sub 500 records. He means here. Bad home teams between, so that's basically bad home teams, he's saying, instead of just home teams. So very interesting. 22-9 straight up.
Huh. I don't think that I need to go up against the market sometimes. I don't think there's a need. Like, it's not like, oh, this is refreshing or anything like that. I think that I can just explain it. And, when you can explain it, it's a little easier. I'm not going to bet this right after the show. I would like to see when it stops moving. But yes, Justin McKelvey, that's definitely, Troy says Rockies here in this spot.
And by the way, he put in a last caveat here. It says, but if the road team is also sub 500, the road team is 10-8. So
That's
still
important.
winning.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And Oldie says Rockies team total at 3.5. Those numbers don't match the whole total. You're right, and don't. Yeah. Okay, I'm very interested to join Mikey on the first 5 under, which would be the first time in a long time that I've gone up in baseball against the market move. All right, let's bring on our next guest. Due to a power outage, he's coming from his vehicle, and so we will roll through his other spots on the card as well. We're just going to hear his spots because he's got the 2 of the last 3 games here. So we'll just hear his action so we don't have him sitting in the car for the next 2 hours. Justin McKelvey says, love betting bum fights. I agree.
Yeah, by the way, I think the Supreme Court just said no more bums, no more homeless people. Get off all the homeless off the street, basically.
Well, they're all welcome in your treehouse, Jose, amongst the pigeons. Let's bring on our next guest star of Medicate Mondays. Not even a power outage will keep him from hammering MLB with us each and every day, Wednesday through Friday. Please welcome our guy coming to us from Dallas, Texas, Dabra. Cadabra. Dabby, how are you?
Well, I mean, I can't lie to you guys, Jimmy. Third time my power's been out in the last 2 weeks. It's like 185 degrees here in Texas. I told you guys I got hit up for $600 from the weed plug. He ran off on me. I got $4,500 worth of damage at my house. One of my friends passed away. But you know what they say, guys? It's tough fucking titty. What am I going to do? Sit around and cry about it and go broke? Hell no. Hell no. We're going to win some money. That's what we're going to do.
And your titties have slimmed down. I noticed that was a point of emphasis for you. You've trimmed down those titties in the last little while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Wow.
Jimmy. Yeah, I'm down 13 pounds right now.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Let's get to work, Daby Cab. And we don't want you sitting in that car for hours and hours waiting. So we're going to cap this game in its entirety. Then we are going to just hear your action on the next 2 spots, and we love capping with you, man. Love the way you handle.
You guys
things.
really don't got to do that, Jimmy, because I can go into my facility and work out, and then come right back out and do them.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay, cool. Okay, then we'll keep it. Okay, straight. Okay, let's get to work here with Daby Cab. Houston Astros 40-40, 16-21 on the road at the New York Mets 39-39, 20-23 at home. Daby Cab, if that's going to be the plan, then we'd like you to also cap. Oh no, because wait here. Sorry, we'd like you to also cap the A's Diamondbacks game, so you can just do the last 3 with us.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get rolling here with best bet time from Daby Cab. Astros, New York Mets, Citi Field in Queens, New York. We got Ronel Blanco going up against Jose Quintana. This is a tricky spot, and I'm excited to hear your plan of attack. Let's start with the weather at Citi Field in Queens. We have 71 Fahrenheit, so it's not too hot in New York right now. 11.4 miles per hour to left field. Offensive weather, but not too hot, not too sticky. Dies down to 9.5 miles per hour by the end of the game. Get into the line history here. We got the first 5 up, so why don't we touch on that? This is a pick'em at 4.5 right now, which means there has been a 3-cent move to the first 5 under. We'll go to the full game total as well. This full game is sitting here at 8 minus 102 to the under. Now, this opened up at 8.5. So while there hasn't been a big move on the first 5 total, there has been a big move on the full game total. And this move didn't happen right away. This line came out at 7:48 p.m. There was no movement till 1:30 a.m. And now we see it at 8.5. And it's a legit, now we see it at 8, and it's a legit 8. We get to the money line here. This money line has the Mets at minus 105. That's a different line than everywhere else. You'll see double digits almost everywhere else on the Mets. This opened up at plus 101. So they have gone from dog to favorite in 6 cents of movement. Let's get into the cash flow here. From a cash flow standpoint, we have the 94% of tickets, 94% cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. On the money line, we have 52% of tickets and 84% of cash on the Astros, and it's moving towards the Mets. Blanco has been excellent this year. 2.34 ERA, 0.97 whip. His last start at home versus the Orioles, we know what they've been doing to righties, and he completely shut them down. He's been spectacular on the road, 5-0 with a 1.98 ERA, 172 opponent's batting average. Maybe he's walking a few too many batters, but that's always been Blanco's problem. Jose Quintana, last 2 starts have been incredible. 12 and a third, 1 earned run, 14 Ks and 3 walks. They've been very, very good. His last start, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 walk, an 11-1 win at Chicago. 4.58 ERA, 1.32 whip on the year. He hasn't been very good, but he's been much better at home than he's been on the road. 229 opponents batting average, 3.49 ERA. The Astros are still hitting lefties. Now, they're not hitting lefties with a ton of power, but they're hitting lefties at a very high average, 293, 752 OPS. And the Mets are raking against righties, 275, 835 OPS. The Mets bullpen has been really good. We talked about that over the last few days. They had a terrible May. They've had a very strong June, 3.20 ERA, 1.05 whip. Astros bullpen, 4.06 ERA, 1.28 whip. Take it away, Dabra Cadabra. Best bet number 1, Astros, Mets.
Yeah, 20 games ago, we wouldn't have thought these were the 2 hottest teams well, they weren't, but you wouldn't have thought they'd be the 2 hottest teams in baseball right now. And they are. I mean, the Mets, they got Grimace chugging beers during rain delays with the fans. I mean, the energy there is outstanding. And the energy the Astros have, this is what the Astros are used to, especially their fans. They're used to getting down early and then coming back. I know I posted it and you and Jose saw it, but I told everyone, I said, I think the Astros would be at 500 when they get to 40-40. I'm a little frustrated that I haven't made more money off of that prediction because I saw it coming and I didn't do a good job of loading up on it. The second half of that prediction was that within the next 40 games, the Astros would be in first place in the division and they'd catch the Mariners. And I still believe that. I think they will, within the next 22 games, catch the Mariners. And it starts right here. You got 2 guys that are good pitchers. Blanco's been better than Quintana. And you look at Blanco's record on the road. He's had 5 starts. His ERA on the road this season, I know it's not a huge sample size, but you got 5 starts there. It's a 1.98 in his 5 road games. He's just been outstanding. He's also got 21 more strikeouts than Quintana. He's got a little bit more swing and miss stuff, which is important when you're looking at your starting pitcher. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back these red hot Astros in the first 5. I mean, I know I'm going against a juggernaut right now in the Mets with how they've been playing. But I believe in the Astros. I don't like hearing about the market, but what, like plus 103 to minus 105 or whatever we said it was. I mean, if you're going to bet minus 10 or plus 103, you'll bet minus 103. So it's not something that I think really is going to keep me off of this by any means. So Astros first 5 here. I paid minus 110 for it, so I might have got the ass into the line. But I like the Astros here, and I'm going to stay out of the bullpens.
Astros first 5 for Dabra Cadabra. Jose Bouquett, Astros Mets, your plan?
I'm Team Grimace. Give me the Mets. Give me the Mets full game here. So I don't want to go up directly up against Daby Cab here, but lines completely flipped. As you guys can see, probably minus 109 for the Mets full game now, which is kind of crazy. So Dabby, don't worry. I'm also getting the ass end of the line as well. So we can be ass end of the line brothers there in that sense. 52% of the bets on the Astros, 84% of the money. And it's
sorry, what was that again? What did you want to be?
We could be ass end of the line brothers. You guys don't like that?
He hasn't made it through one game today without something like that, Jimmy.
You can't keep me down for long, guys. You can't keep me down for long. And yes, Billy Brisbane, very Human Centipede. I've never watched that movie. I'm too scared, but shout out to Human Centipede. But Mets full game. Rested bullpen for the Mets. Gonna have to believe in them to close games because everyone knows the team that's destroyed me mentally the most this year with late inning collapses is the Mets. But I'll believe in them. Jake Diekman, the boys, Adam Ottavino. Come on. So Mets full game for me.
Astros first 5 tweeted out at minus 115 for Daby Cab. Jose, full game on the Mets. What did you get for that?
Minus 106 at our friends at Bet Online.
Now, for me, I would be with, and I expect Wine Time to cash this. I would be on the under 8.5 at minus 125. The problem is the Mets are raking against righties. The Astros are raking against lefties, and it just doesn't correlate enough for me. I got to let those spots go. Although, if I had a free bet, I would move on it. If we were just giving out picks, I would give that out. But it just doesn't correlate enough for me to bet it. You guys going head to head is exciting. So Dabra Cadabra on the Astros first 5 -115. Jose on the full game with the Mets at -106. And I like Wine Times look on the under, but I'm going to stay off of it here. So Billy Friedrich says, was that a waffle from you? No, because I'm telling you, I can't bet it because of it. It's not like I was going to bet it or I thought about betting it. I mean, I guess, of course, you thought about betting it. You'll think about betting each action, but I don't know if that is, I don't think that's a waffle. Yeah, MMA guy, keep that drink hole of yours wide open. See what you catch. See what fires in there. Hopefully it doesn't have too many veins on it. Dabra Cadabra, excellent work. You're going to be joining us here for the final 3 games on the card, being Twins, Mariners, A's, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers, Giants. Dabra Cadabra, we'll see you soon, my man.
Be right back.
All right, Mr. Bouquett, we roll on. Next up for 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the San Diego Padres 44-41, 20-19 on the road at the Boston Red Sox 43-37, 19-21 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston. We'll start with the weather in Boston. 72 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in. Then it goes just right to left. And then by the final hour of the game, it is very slightly out. Let's get into the line history for this one. Vasquez versus Pivetta. This is plus 138 right now for the Padres. So there's been a very slight move to the Red Sox. 3 cents of movement from minus 148 to minus 151. When we get to the total here on this one, we're sitting here with a 9.5 at minus 110. This opened up juiced heavy to the under 9.5, minus 115. There's been a very slight move to the over, which surprised me. I thought there was going to be a bigger move towards the over. DC Capper on Boston, minus 155. Let's get to the cash flow on this. From a cash flow perspective, 85% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. On the total here, we have 63% of the tickets and 66% of cash on the over. That surprised me. I wonder who would be on the under, and there's quite a few people on the under. Spreadsheet dog spot is the Padres, and the dog spot has been unbelievably successful. Now, it's not the spreadsheet play of the day. That is the Minnesota Twins at plus 114, but it was a dog spot here for our guy Ron Crawford. Nate Dogg says want the Padres, but don't trust Vasquez. So let's get, and then Billy Friedrich says terrible splits for Vasquez on the road. Reggie says I took Red Sox, but only worries Red Sox on Friday lose. Jose
That's
can
true.
touch on that. Robert Franklin says Vasquez ass versus lefties, 7 lefties projected in the lineup for Boston. Vasquez on the road. Now it's only 22 and a third innings, but 385 opponents batting average, 6.85 ERA. Vasquez, his last start was great. Almost quality. 5 innings, didn't get to the 6, but 3 Ks, 3 walks, no earned runs against the Brewers. And the Brewers have been hitting righties. What happens to this guy on the road? And are we putting too much emphasis on it because of the sample size being so small? Slick Nick Pivetta coming off 4-3 win at the Reds. He didn't look very good. 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk. At home, he's been worse than on the road. It's hard to figure that out. 4.62 ERA. 33 Ks and 25 1/3 is nice, but 219 opponents batting average is nice. He's got some pretty nice peripherals. Padres versus righties, 282, 818 OPS. Both these teams are ripping the leather off the ball against righties. And the Padres are hitting righties even harder than the Red Sox. And few teams you can say that about. And the Padres bullpen's been an atrocity in June. 5.07 ERA, 1.57 whip. The biggest difference between these two teams is the bullpen right now. The Red Sox bullpen just pitching so much better than the Padres bullpen. So let's take a look at that cash flow one more time. 63 and 66 on the over. 85 and 82 on the Red Sox. Jose, take it away. Your Red Sox in play.
Yeah, the over is super appealing. I really wanted the over in this game. Red Sox, I think, are a little too juiced. For me personally, I kind of thought this would be like a minus 125, minus 130-ish range for me personally.
Were you surprised by the market on the total?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I thought this should be high. I thought it should be going up at least. And it's not like And Jimmy, we've seen this well, I guess week, year, whatever you want to call it. All of these totals are always bet to the over, and there's 2 today that people have decided to bet to the under for whatever reason. And this is as close. There's another one that we'll talk about later, but this was the second highest amount of under bets with 37% and 34%. So it's pretty surprising. I don't know what the rhyme or reasoning sometime is for those, because like I said, this screams over to me. And JPZ might be right here. Like, we let this game run, go 0-0 first 2 innings. First inning, you get an 8.5, and you bet that over. I wouldn't hate that at all. The issue obviously there is the Red Sox bullpen is good, and I like the Padres bullpen. I think it's quality in its own right. It has certain arms that I trust, I should say, not overall, but I think this is an over game, and I've kind of gone back and forth on it as well here. And I looked up Randy Vasquez to see how many times he's seen the Red Sox, because former Yankee. Only once, 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs there. Home run, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and that was in Fenway as well. The guy that did the home run, of course, Rafael Devers. So very interesting. By the way, the Nationals are calling up James Wood. That's just breaking news right now. He's the number 3, I think, overall.
I believe so.
No, yeah, he's number 3 overall. He's very, very good. So we'll see how that operates for them. And they need all the bats they can get. So that's interesting. But I lean over in this game. I just don't know if I can get there, and unfortunately.
Well, I can't, because I need a sign. Like, I can't understand why there would be action on the under, even though there's still being a 5-cent move to the over. But why isn't it a 10? I'm going to have to stay off of this. I cannot.
I'd feel more that way if there was 98, 99% of the bets on the over there. The fact that there's not, and it's still, still high. It's still high, sure.
Yeah.
But
let's roll on. Martin Perez back from the IL here. We haven't seen him since May 26th. He is a professional pitcher, but one that you want to fade. And the only thing that the Braves are doing well offensively is against lefties. 262, 747 OPS, 747 OPS. And the pig milk play of the day, he's backing Martin Perez. Pirates first 5 plus a half at plus 100. The pig milk play of the day from Billy Friedrich is 35 and 23 plus 13.9 units of spectacular record. The show is so special because of our chat. Billy Friedrich, a big part of that. So he is trusting Martin Perez. And I don't really know how he could have the confidence in Martin Perez. DC Capper looking at the under 9 here. Now, Perez's injury, I have it right here. Sorry, let me find it. Perez's injury wasn't an arm injury, right? It was like a hammy. Here we go. It was a groin injury. So he needed just 1 rehab start. He allowed 1 earned run over 5 innings through 65 pitches for Indianapolis AAA. So he doesn't think there's going to be any restrictions on his pitch load here. But I don't really... Oh, Billy Friedrich said more of a fade of the Braves team that's playing their 4th game in 3 days, 3 different cities, and Atlanta is not scoring runs. Yes, that's a big thing. Billy Friedrich's been talking about this for 3 days, the situation that the Braves were in. The funny thing about this season, and we've seen it with teams traveling and not facing a rest day. Now, the Yankees looked terrible yesterday, but it hasn't been affecting teams that much. On the road this year, 297 opposing batting average against Perez, a 4.88 ERA, 17 Ks and 10 walks, not the right K to walk ratio. Charlie Morton coming off an 8-3 loss at the Yankees, allowed 5 earned runs over 5 2/3. He's been slightly better at home than he's been on the road, 39 Ks and 39 1/3. With 20 walks, 245 opponents batting average. The Pirates don't hit righties, 232, 672 OPS. And this Braves bullpen has been like single-handedly keeping them in the playoff race. 2.95 ERA, 1.12 whip. They are, right here. They're 2.2 runs better than the Pirates bullpen over 9 innings. Take a look at the weather in this one. We have 77 Fahrenheit, 5.1 miles per hour in, stays between 5.7 and 4.6. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have this total sitting at 9 at a pick'em. This opened up at 8.5. It moved to 9 at 10 a.m. That was the first time that it moved to 9. And the 8.5 started getting more juice, and then it stopped. And at 10 a.m. it moves to 9, and then it gets, the under starts getting hit, goes back to 8.5 at 10:15. Then it comes back at 11:21 this morning at 9, and then an hour and 15 minutes ago it starts getting bet to the over. So it took a while. It wasn't a slam dunk situation here. Ronnie Crawford says he'll be at Truist Park next Saturday for Braves Phillies for his birthday. Oh, I love that. Ronnie Crawford, Braves Phillies for his birthday. Anybody in the area, go buy our guy Ronnie Crawford a brewski. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 97% of tickets, 98% of cash on the over. 12% of tickets on the Pirates and 19% of cash. Very, very, very interesting. Take it away here for us. Oh, okay. Kongs Clips, let us know. Pitching changed in one of the 7-10 starts. Let us know, my man. Take it away, Jose. Pirates, Braves.
Yeah, I'll stay off this game. This is the easiest stay off game for me. Troy saying that the Braves are a cash cow spot, though. So shout out to you, Troy. But I like Martin. I think he's a quality pitcher at times. The issue is the Braves lineup as a whole. We've talked about it as an under team this year. They're actually now the second best under team. The other best under team now is the Astros, 29 and 49 to the under. So that's pretty crazy. 30 and 48 are the Braves to the under. So all under love there. And if you care, the Cubs are the third worst, 35 and 47. Yeah, very interesting. I stayed off this game, though. I lean under just because of the Braves season-long trends, but I wasn't confident in other spots here, so no action.
I don't want to go up against Pig Milk. And the feels like sharp action on the Pirates. So I gave us the line move on the money line at Pinnacle. Why don't we just take a look at it at Bet Online here as well? Over at Bet Online, we have this minus 186 on the Braves. Opened up at minus 170. So that's an okay move, 16 cents. And then over at Penny, we have it. Another big, that in the minus 169, minus 187. Why wouldn't the Braves be live here?
Yeah, they're cash cow. They've moved all that way. They're like minus 200 now, basically. So I understand if everyone thinks that the Braves are the spot here. Charlie Morton probably dominates this Braves lineup. This Pirates lineup. I didn't even realize, by the way, shout out to you, Billy, the Cubs are in last place. That's crazy.
So the issue here is we're saying that the Braves are exhausted. Braves are exhausted, and we're going to,
No, BJ likes them as well. And again, cash cow has been one of the best trends we've had all year for it. So I just don't want to take the run line and move on the Braves that way. That's why I'm off. I'd rather bet the under, I guess.
There's so many statistical advantages here for the Braves, but Rand says not a good bet with run line with home team. I disagree. You get a much better line on the minus one. I'm talking about. You get a much better line with the home team. I have no problem backing them, and I will be backing them here. I think and then I guess I'm not going up against Billy Friedrich. So, Braves minus one. I think is on my card. I wonder, Billy. I wonder if psychologically you had planned to fade the Braves because of their perceived exhaustion, which is so fair because I've been traveling all over the place. But does it also, Billy, would you say that statistically you feel, because I don't know what Perez is going to do. It wasn't an arm injury, and we hear often from Peter Loshak saying that he likes to back. Well, no, we haven't heard him talk about this 3 years or so, 4 years. But back in the day, he liked to back a pitcher who's coming off the IR or IL if it wasn't a arm injury, and this is just a groin injury. So Robert Franklin, though, on the Pirates at plus 170. Okay, let's move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern, the aforementioned Chicago Cubs in play here against the Milwaukee Brewers at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have Jameson Taillon, who's pitching very good this year, going up against Colin Ray, who's been very good at home. Two teams that aren't hitting with any power against righties. Cubs 239, 696. You'd think that they would have a higher OPS. And the same you could say about the Braves, 253, 702 OPS. And Billy says also the bullpen usage over the last 2 days. That's fair. But I mean, if you really were concerned bullpen usage, you would be on the Pirates full game. But then you're getting the first 5 plus a half. Look, I get it. My dude says Braves got skunked yesterday. Love the Braves today. And for Morton to deal today. He pitches great at home. And you confirmed that was the cash cow, was the Braves.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go into this Cubbies Brew Crew spot here on the line histories where we will start. And these are Pinnacle market moves. Jose will give us the bet online moves. And if you're looking for a new account, we can get you 100% bonus up to $1,000. And it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. If you go through our website, our link on our website, and put in the promo code PubSports, and MyBookie will give you a 50%. Now, the MyBookie with PubSports will give you 100% if you use Bitcoin. We have the line on this. The Brew Crew sitting at minus 132. Opened up at minus 130. Very little move. I was interested in the under in this one, but couldn't get there pre-flop. Let's talk about the total then here. We're dealing with an 8.5 and minus 103 to the under. That's exactly where this opened. So there's been no movement at all on total and really no movement on the money line either. Let's get into the cash flow here. We have 96% of tickets and 94% of cash on the over, and we're not moving a cent, Jose. That's very appealing to me. 85% of tickets and 98% of cash on the Brewers. That's not moving a cent either. Robert Franklin looking at the under 8.5. Nate Dogg saying Brew Crew getting no love. And Troy Torrance says if you're betting the Cubs, never bet full game. Joe T, best bet. Joe T, play of the day here is Brewers team total over 4.5 at plus 105. 105. And Ron Crawford says, I'm not doing any favorite for play of the day this year. Only dogs. Braves would have been the play. Important information from Ronnie Crawford. Don't forget, Jose, we need birthday bets for our guy, Jordan Nordman. So here we go. Taillon, last start, thing of beauty. 1 earned run, solo shot. BJ said, how do you not bet the Brewers here? The problem is the market. Otherwise, clear backwood. I don't know why it would be a clear Brewers spot other than the bullpen advantage. I don't see why it would, honestly. The Brewers have stopped hitting with power against righties. Colin Ray's been excellent at home, but he's not had nearly as good of a season as Jameson Taillon. That last start was a problem for Colin Ray, but it was on the road against San Diego Padres team that's ripping the leather off the ball. Why are we not on the full game under here, Jose? Take it away.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I was looking at the under here as well. It just, I was looking at them. Both teams are 101 weighted runs created plus against righties this month. And I had this total actually going from, where are you? 8.5 under, juice to the under at minus 120. And now it is minus 112, minus 115 actually to the over at Bet Online. That's kind of what's kept me off the under. And this is one of those spots, 96, 94% of the bets on the money, and the money and the bets on the over in this game. So it's tough. And, Billy Frederick, good note here. These Cubs Brewers games, especially in Milwaukee, will always be a little more motivation and a little fiery for the Brewers because Craig Counsell, and I think the fans will obviously be on his ass again. So I stay off this game, but I lean Brewers and I lean under.
Mikey Money on Cubs first 5, Brewers full game. Reginald says Ray at home has been almost unbeatable. Where is his home? 4-1, 2.76 ERA, 42 1/3, 32 Ks, 8 walks, 209 opponents batting average. Rod Zawak says Cubs have failed to cover the red line in 17 straight following a win. Cubs first 5, Brewers full game at 9-1 for Mikey Money. That's a wild one. And Troy's got to tell us whether he's making that big of a bet on the Braves or not, because if he is, then that'll be the only game that I will care about tonight.
Will you move on the Braves if he did
I am
that?
moving on. I have already decided -1. I'm moving on the Braves for a unit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Kelsey, I banished Glory Hole. We need female cappers in our chat. We need female cappers to feel comfortable and safe in our chat. So we bounced them immediately, and I apologize that he even got one line in. We really care about our female cappers in the chat, and we just want you guys to feel safe and comfortable and cap with us.
We need more on screen as well. So shout out to you, Kelsey. One day, hopefully, you can make your on-screen debut at on a live stream or something. Would be fun.
I'm on the full game under here. Ron Crawford, thank you for making time for us. Back to work, guys. Spreadsheet play today is the Twinkies. Okay, let's move on to the only pregame bet that I've made.
Oh.
The only pregame bet that I've made here, and that's Kansas City first 5. AOD, that is true. That is true.
By the way, Alec Marsh is 100% in your rotation.
He's not looked very good of late.
No.
I am betting.
I'm not an Alec Marsh guy.
I am an Alec Marsh guy.
By the way,
says, you're right. Absolutely, Kong. Absolutely. That's not only in the chat. We need our females to feel safe in this fucked up world. Absolutely, Kong Clips. Beautifully said. Troy Torrance said that would be 55% of his bankroll if he put 100 units on it. So he says max will be 10. Okay. Well, let me know if he's got 3 on it right now. Let me know if there's 10 because I will be caring about that game more than the others.
Jesus, 55% of your bankroll bet would just be ridiculous.
No, he's not. Come on. Come on.
I'd just be my palm just sweating thinking about that.
On a Friday night in June?
Oh.
No.
And see, nobody would understand that. Only the people in this chat, like if I told my friends oh yeah, I have a 100 unit bet on blah 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 blah, they'd be like, you fucking degenerate, what the fuck? They'd look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Only the people in this chat would understand and go, fuck yeah, let's go get it. So shout out to you guys and shout out to you, Troy.
Royals first 5 to me at -110. Now, when I made this bet, Pinnacle and 365 each had the -110. That's a rarity. Pinnacle had a 17-cent difference between Royals full game and Royals first 5. So let's pull up the line history here for this one. And I want to just go right to Penny here. Do I have it? I thought I had it up. Yes, I do. Let's go right to Penny. I want to know exactly what they've done with this first 5 because I felt like I didn't necessarily need to move on it when I did. Maybe it was like I wanted to have. Well, first off, there's been a big move to the Royals. The Royals were plus 107 full game when I bet it. Now they're minus 104. So that's a big move. Now let's see first half. Minus 113. Good. Which means 365 should have moved this to minus 115 or to minus 120. And they have moved it to minus 115. Okay. Well, this is all falling into place. This is a fade of Tristan McKenzie as well. Also, I don't know why Alec Marsh didn't look so good over his last few starts. His last start was fine. 5 2/3, 3 earned runs at the Rangers, a 4-0 loss. The Rangers don't hit righty, so it's not a good sign. He's been getting barreled a little bit. And Tristan McKenzie will always scare me, but there's something wrong with his elbow. There's something wrong with him. Truth Teller on the Guardians here. And, Truth Teller, you are not alone. You are not alone. This is a spot where 64% of the tickets and 74% of the cash are with you. If that was the case, wouldn't you love the market to be moving in your direction? We've seen a legit dog in the Royals become a pick'em. So let's take a look at once again, this total is sitting at 9.5. It opened up at 9.5 and it got up to 10. So this was at 10 when I bet it. And that, Jose, almost got me off of the first 5 because I thought implied volatility. Now this total is right back where it started, which means these pitchers could pitch well. On the money line, we're sitting here with the Royals at Pinnacle at minus 104. They opened up at plus 105. So it had 9 cents of movement there. There had been a slight move towards the Guardians, obviously, because it was plus 107 when I had it. And then when we get to the cash flow here, again, we have 54% of tickets, 57% of cash. A lot of people are betting the under in this one. A lot of people are betting the under. And the Guardians bullpen best in business. If you like Guardians, you have to take them full game because they're hitting righties so much harder. Their bullpen is so much better. Take it away here, Jose Bouquett. Guardians, Royals, Kauffman Stadium. The floor is yours.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff happening in the chat right now. Shout out to everyone. Benny101 put his POD, cash flow POD on McKenzie over 3.5 strikeouts at minus 140. Shout out to you, my man. And Justin McKelvey, it's a good one here. This just got me. He said, if I lose 55% of my bankroll, I'm putting on a ski mask. So, I respect that.
I will bring a few to Pubapalooza.
I respect that. It would be nice if you could have a signed ski mask.
Yeah, or we could just have Pub Sports Radio ski masks.
Well, these are all things that are coming together. And Avant Polo, I'm glad that someone else thought this as well, because whenever you say "You're Not Alone," I just think about you singing Michael Jackson here. I don't know why it's specifically you. I don't know what video or something we did when you were singing "You're Not Alone," but it rings in my head when you say that. I'll admit that.
Yeah, that doesn't mean very much to me, but let's keep rolling. Guardians, Royals.
I want to bet the Guardians here. And yesterday, it was, I'm glad I called it out and at least acknowledged, like, I'm betting this trap, and it got me the 2-1 victory for the Royals yesterday. Kind of why I feel like everyone's betting the under here again today, because everyone just saw that 2-1 game. Swish, I believe, has this wind blowing straight out. I need to refresh here real quick to make sure that at least I have the accurate information here. And 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out to center, dying down to 13 at 9 and 11 at 10. So that is the worrisome thing here. I like the Guardians here again, but yet again, we're getting a super low line, and I'm like, this feels like another trap. So if I was betting again here, it's Royals or nothing. And, kind of learning from yesterday. And I guess, again, I feel good about calling it out and saying I'm betting this trap, but I bet it anyways, and I still lost money on it. So how about I go a step further and just not bet it? And then maybe tomorrow I'll take another step further and maybe bet on the Royals. Who knows? But I thought the Royals are very interesting today, and I think this line is very trappy again.
I'm excited about this baseball. My biggest surprise in this ball game is that 46% of tickets and 43% of cash would be on the under. And of course, it shouldn't be if the Royals have cashed 9 out of the last 10 games to the under. So that's what's happening here.
So. Yeah, and that wind, I think, I know it's not the end all be all. People go one north end and believe the wind will take them to the over solely, and then other people ignore the wind, and on the other end it could screw you. So it's been interesting. So I think
my problem over a long time is that I have put too much emphasis into the wind, and then maybe the only place you should do that is Wrigley.
Yeah. And I don't think even in the White Sox stadium it really matters all that much. I haven't done my analysis on it, but shout out to you, Daby Cab. This is going to be fun.
This is great. Great news. Big Happy is out. We'll be debuting the real Happy Tales on the sesh. Any questions you guys have, plan them out, because we're going to get the scoop of what 19 years in state is like.
Daby, my first question is what is the sports watching situation in state? Do you just all gather around a small ass TV? Because in every prison movie, Jimmy, I'm sure you've noticed this. In every prison movie, you have to automatically go with your race. So you have the white inmates, the Mexican inmates, the black inmates all separated. So is it all like that? That's my question for Big Happy, Daby Cab. So mark that one down.
I think you're going to have to put that down on paper. All right. So we got Rod Zawacki. TGIF Friday 10-star play is on the Padres money line and reverse run line.
Oh,
Padres.
goodness. That's worrisome. Well, the Red Sox don't win on Friday, so.
All right, we roll on. Kong's Clips can answer that for you as well. We need Kong, we need Big Cab, we need you guys in San Antonio so we can all have drinks in the circle and fire these questions at you as well. Okay, let's roll. Next up for us. So I'm on the Royals' first 5. And we'll see how it all bangs out. 8:15 p.m. Eastern with the Cincinnati Reds, 38-43. 18-20 on the road at the St. Louis Cardinals, 41-39, 22-17 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's get into the weather in St. Louis. Ask my tattooist. 86 Fahrenheit, 12.3 miles per hour, right to left, very slightly out. Dies down to 11.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Palante versus hard toss, soft toss, Montoss. Minus 123 are the cards. They opened up at minus 125. So minimal, tiny bit of movement. But there was movement at one time, was there? There was movement. This opens up at minus 125. That was last night, 11:55 p.m. Within 25 minutes, there's a 6-cent move towards the Cardinals, but that move goes away. Let's get into the total for this one. From a total side of things, we have the Cards at 8.5, juice to the over. This opened up juice to the under. So there's been 16 cents of movement towards the over with Palante going up against Fuck Toss Montoss. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 97% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the over. A very public look, but there's been 16 cents of movement. Then we have 23% of the tickets and 38% cash on the Reds. The Reds seem like a legit sharp play. Montoss coming off a nice start at home, but he deals with arm fatigue, and he also has been bad on the road this year. 24 Ks and 17 walks. To put that into perspective, at home, he has 29 strikeouts and 10 walks. On the road, 24 and 17. Palante, I backed him one time this year, and I got paid, and I've stayed off of his start. He's been horrific since that one start. I don't know really what his issue is. I don't know why he's so bad. At home, he's throwing just 14 and 3rd innings. And I thought about not writing this out because the sample size was so small, but a 310 opposing batting average, he just doesn't look good. The Reds versus righties, 249, 737 OPS. Cards versus righties, 260, 739 OPS. So both hitting well versus righties. And both bullpens have been very, very good. And my motherfucking dude, play of the day is Colin Ray, over 4.5 Ks at minus 112. Take it away, Jose. Reds, Cards at the Busch.
Tough game. I like Palante as well, and I think that is just because I bet Palante once, and he cashed for me, and it was great. But I'll say that I think you might be being a little aggressive on how shitty he's been. He gave up 5 earned runs last time against the Giants. 3 1/3, 2 runs, 1 earned against the Cubs. 5 shutout against the Rockies. Got crushed against the Astros, but that's not really that surprising. 6 shutout innings against the Reds. So, like you said, he just went 6 shutout innings against the Reds. How long ago was that? 29th of last month, so about a month ago. It's going to be interesting. I kind of like a bounce back look for him here, really. But it's a little dubious for me. There's 77% of the bets, 62% of the money, like you said, and we've gone down a little bit on Bet Online. So it's minus 124 now, and I'll just end up staying off in a case like that. So no action for me, but Palante, I think, is a good long guy. Like, he's going to be on the Rays one day, and he'll be like a quality Rays pitcher, and it's going to make me infuriated. But I don't think he's like too bad, but not good enough for me to back here. And it's Frankie Montoss, right? His second time around the order, he just gets destroyed.
All right. Well, let's roll on. I'm going to stay off of that spot as well. We got one more game before Daby Cab joins us for 3 straight. Next up for us, 9:38 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Tigers 37-44, 18-22 on the road at the LA Angels 34-46, 16-25 at home. Let's give one more shout out to Wine Time Sports. This guy watches these Angels in person often and knows this team inside and out, and he's been banking off of it. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. The market's been very helpful in these Angels games. 8.7 miles per hour out to straightaway center. It's cooling down a little bit. It's still warmer than average at night. We have Kenta Maeda versus Zach Plesac. I am shocked that Zach Plesac has had another opportunity to deliver.
If anyone's gonna give him that chance, it's the Angels, right?
Right. And he's looked bad. Look, this was not a highly thought of pitcher coming into that 2016 draft out of Ball State. He's got a famous last name, which gave him the opportunity to pitch for the Guardians, who were a pitching factory at the time. But they gave up on him. This year, Salt Lake City's a real tough place to pitch. Elevated, thin air, 5.42 ERA, 1.42 whip. That's not horrific. 51 strikeouts. We know he's had a problem striking out batters over 74 and 2/3. He's just not good. He's not a good pitcher. And he's had 2 starts this year. That first start was June 17th. It was at home versus the Brewers, and he looked good. Then he went and pitched at the Dodgers, and he didn't look good. Here's Wine Time in the house. Billy Friedrich says, I hope his Uncle Dan gets the clap.
Jesus.
Dan's an old man. I'm sure he's dealt with the clap many times. Wine Time, Angels money line. Going to keep taking them in spots against teams that they should beat. Am I worried about Plesac? Let's be honest. This Tigers lineup could be worse than Oakland's. Interesting. Okay. So Kenta Maeda coming off allowing 3 earned runs at home in a loss against the White Sox. And that was considered a good start for him. Listen to what Kenta's numbers are on the road. And Sharpie says Dodgers will make most soft tossers look like Plesac did versus them. Look at what Kenta Maeda's done on the road. 20 innings, Jose. 20 innings. 28 hits, 22 earned runs, 15 Ks, 8 walks, opponents hitting 329 against them. The Angels bullpen 5.56 ERA, 1.47 whip. We heard from Wine Time that they had their best relievers and closers ready to go yesterday, and they look good. Tigers bullpen's been much better this month, 3.69 ERA, 1.11 whip after a horrific May. So let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over to Jose. This total is at 9. It's minus 114 to the over. It opened up at 8, went to 9, and then dropped back to 8.5. That's important. This was not a straight shot to 9, even though it was at 9.5 for a little while, and it's juiced to the over right now. It's important. Then on the money line here, we have the Angels at plus 104. They opened up at plus 102, so we've had no movement there. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 47% of tickets, 55% of cash on the Tigers, 80% of tickets, 92% of cash on the over. Wine Time says Angels pen is fresh again because Davis went 8 strong. Joe Yurkovich in the house. Great to see you, Joe. Says positive regression for Kenta. Billy Friedrich, Tigers first 5. Kelsey was on the Angels yesterday. Robert Franklin says Tigers ain't the Dodgers. Angels money line. Robert Franklin leaning there and has gotten there. And Billy Friedrich says, yeah, but the Tigers scored 30 more runs in Oakland in less than 2 games. Take it away for us here, Jose. Tigers, Angels.
Yeah, no action. I can't get there with either squad here. The line's moving for me, at least, on Bet Online. This opened up at minus 106 for the Detroit yesterday at around 3. And then I guess the game happened and it moved to minus 112 at 5. And, slowly ticked up, was minus 120 at one point and climbed back down. So I thought that was very interesting that Kenta was getting that love. I kind of agree with Wine Time here. I lean Los Angeles, home team. I think the Tigers, we've talked about many times, the lineup has been pretty bad, still bad. And bullpen wise, give me a fresh Angels bullpen and we'll see what happens. But I stayed off. This is just not a game I was interested in.
All these games I find absolutely fascinating. capping them with everybody, but I cannot move on this spot. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. That was Tigers, Angels, and welcome back from Dallas, Texas. Rolling with us, power outage, not stopping anything. Moved to his vehicle. Dabra back in business. Daby, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm better than earlier. You know, I was whining a little when we got on, but the more I think about the games getting close to first pitch, the more I think about the money we're going to make today.
I love it. I love it. Let's get to work. 9:40 p.m. Eastern with the Minnesota Twins, 45-36, 22-20 on the road. At the Seattle Mariners, 46-37, 27-12 at home. We're at T-Mobile in Seattle, Washington. Let's get into the line history here for this one. The weather, 63 Fahrenheit, 8.3 miles per hour in. It says here that it completely switches in a, you know what? Let me just refresh this. So I don't want to make sure this is legit. It's not legit. Well, yeah, it's not legit. 7.5 miles per hour in, stays that way. It stays that way. At first it's left to right, but then it's just completely in. Let's get into the line history for Daby Cab. Best bet with Logan Gilbert, who has clearly become the best pitcher on the Mariners. Most consistent for sure. There's been a 1 cent move towards the Seattle Mariners. Bailey Ober coming off that completo where it was only 87 pitches or 89 pitches. It was 89 pitches. 89 pitches, 70 strikes for Bailey Ober. Got the big lead, just didn't have any nerves and delivered. This total is down to a 7. It is a 7. This opened up at 7, got up 7.5, wasn't a real one. Every time it's got up to 7.5, it's not a real one. It's so there's only been 4 cents of movement to the over at the 7. DC Capper on Seattle minus 130 and Robert Franklin on the over 7. And the Miami Philadelphia under 8.5 was TJ's best bet. Miami Philly under 8.5 was TJ's best bet. And I'm right there with you. Sorry, let me get there. I'm right there with you. I'm better still be 8.5. I love hearing that, TJ. I'm betting that one. Get this over here. Okay, Rand says Twins or over. Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say about this one. We've gone through the line. We just haven't gone through the cash flow. This is 98% of tickets, 98% of cash on the over, and this thing's not moving at 7. Not moving. 4 cents movement, not moving. We have 28% of tickets, 57% of cash on the Twins. Clear, sharp action on the Twins. Joe Yerker says Twins team total over looks really good. So Bailey Over coming out off the completo. He's not been that good this year. 4.50 ERA. His whip and some of the peripheries tell us that he's been unlucky. And then on the road, 5.07 ERA, but 237 opponents batting average, 46 Ks, 11 walks. Logan Gilbert coming off back-to-back incredible 8-inning scoreless starts. Back-to-back. Now at home, 2-2, 2.66 ERA, 185 opponents batting average, 52 Ks and 7 walks. He's elite. Twins are raking. 275 at 11 OPS versus righties. Mariners just 226, 730. And the Mariners bullpen's not being very good. Twins has been quite good. 3.75 ERA, 1.18 whip, while the Mariners 4.26, 1.31. Take it away, Dabra Cadabra. We're at T-Mobile for Twins Mariners.
Yeah, first thing I'll say is for anybody that saw Correa get hit by that pitch, I mean, the first thought was it's broken for sure, but the X-rays came back negative. That doesn't mean he's going to be in the game today, but
that's crazy. I thought it was broken for sure. I thought it was his ass. I was like, oh, he broke his arm.
He was like holding it. Like he walked back to the dugout. Like I thought there was no chance it wasn't broken, but it's not. The X-rays came back negative, so shout out to him. Just wanted to get that out there. You know, both of these teams aren't thought of. Well, I guess the Twins can be more, but definitely not the Mariners. The Mariners aren't thought of as a great offensive team. But through the month of June, both of these teams have, shown the ability to score runs. Minnesota's averaging 5.75 runs through this month in 24 games. And you look at Seattle, they're averaging 4.54 runs in their 24 games. This is just a situation. I'm shocked the money's on the over here because that's where I'm at. And I thought people would look at this and want to go under. But I took the first 5 over. I got first 5 over 4. There's 3.5s out there, but they're heavily juiced, minus 133 or higher. So I'm gonna go with the first 5 here. First 5 over 4. I just think, like I said, both of these teams have been hitting better this month. And with how well both of these pitchers have thrown, I've said this all along. If you're coming off, your best start of the season, or back-to-back starts that have been just absolutely outstanding, it's not necessarily an area where I'm looking to get behind you. Not because it's impossible to have 3 or 4 good starts in a row. People do it all the time. It's just the variance of baseball and the likelihood of having back-to-back-to-back starts or back-to-back career performances. You just don't see it very often. I think both of these guys are in line to give up maybe 2 or 3 runs through the first 5 innings, which is still a great start. But if each of them give up 2 runs, we push. If one of them gives up 3 or 4, we get there in cash. So first 5 over here.
First 5 over 4 for Daby Cab. Dab, what was the juice on it?
Jimmy, I think it was -105. I'd have
I'll
to
pull
look
it
at
up. Don't worry, I can pull it up. I think I've got it right here. Yes, -102. First
Okay.
5 over 4, -102 here for Daby Cab. Now, I do not. The Bailey Ober completo was set up for him. They got the big lead. He didn't need to risk or do anything. I would expect Logan Gilbert to pitch well here, but I also respect the sharp action here on the Twins and the line not moving. Let's hear what Jose has to say. Take it away, Jose.
I was very close and still am very close to moving on and under in this game. Shout out to the odds bunch Sharpie saying the Twins numbers are fraudulent. They have not seen a right-handed pitcher I would bet on since 20 days ago. Mitch Keller, 6 innings, shutout, 7 Ks. I think Gilbert rolls here. The real question is Ober versus the Seattle Mariners. I looked up their numbers. Full month, they are 113 weighted runs created plus. But if you cut it down from the 16 to the 28, with against righties, luckily we have a good sample size. Still, they are 102 weighted runs created plus. So just not as good, obviously. So I lean under, and I think I might move on a full game under here. And I get it. 99% of the bets and money are on the over, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people betting the over, like Clark Edge here. Shout out to you, Clark Edge. Good luck, but I'll fade the 99% spots.
Clark Edge play of the day on the over 7. Jose, you haven't moved on this under yet.
No, but I'm moving on it as we speak.
Okay, so what is Jose? What are you getting?
I am getting even money for 7.
Even money under 7. And Billy Friedrich saying Gilbert shoves. He's in the zone right now, pitching every 6 days. Can't fade him. Huh. And I don't want to go up against a best bet from Cab. I get the ideology behind it. I'm going to stay off of the spot and respect the Twins' sharp action. So we'll roll into the next one. Kelsey, stand-up is like, it's not like riding a bike. You need to be doing it. You can't take lots of time off. I did it for 18 years, and I love what I'm doing now. Acting wise, yeah. I mean, you don't. I mean, if someone gives you some dope ass role and a fucking briefcase of cash, you deliver. I'd love, but that's different. That's the acting is like riding a bike. It's not. This doesn't take. If you can do it, you can do it. I mean, it's not much to it. But stand-up's different. Stand-up, you got to be keeping sharp and writing, and editing, and you got to just, But
I think I'd be a great actor.
Yeah, lots of people say that. Let's move on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 29-54, 11-31 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 39-42, 20-20 at home. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. JP Sears coming up against Slade Ciccone. Sharpie says Twins last 5 series, A's 2 times, Rockies, Diamondbacks, Rays. Like I said, not an ace right-handed pitcher on the staff. Sears versus Ciccone. So the numbers for the Twins against lefties are all, not fully, but they're based on the Twins in back-to-back starts destroying JP Sears. Destroying him. And the first start wasn't that bad. Then the last start, he 10-2 loss at home. That was the Bailey Ober. So Sears allows 8 earned runs over an inning and a third. Ober just, rifles through. So Sears, we thought Sears was a good pitcher. I mean, Jose, your thoughts on JP Sears after getting destroyed by the Twins? Do you still think he's a good pitcher?
Yeah. Yeah, I still think he's a good pitcher. Yes.
Slade Ciccone, he has got really good stuff. We saw that. Now, it was only in 3 innings in that 4-1 loss to the Phillies. At home, this guy's throwing 53 in the 3rd innings. Only 13 of those innings have been at home. And in those 13 innings, he's allowed 19 earned runs, 5 home runs, 22 hits, 373 opponents' batting average. It's hard to fathom. The Diamondbacks are hitting lefties almost as hard. Oh, Clark Edge. Clark Edge looking for steak. Looking for steak.
What do you want to bet, steak, Clark Edge? What do you want to bet?
He wants the over while you're on the under.
Oh, boy. All right, Clark. We got a deal. I'll put you on the list. I've actually started keeping a list now of who owes me steaks and people that owe me steaks.
These steak bets. I want a punishment bet. I want to see Jose have to do something if he loses. These steaks aren't getting paid. How many steaks have you been owed the past few weeks, Jose?
Well, you owe me one. You owe me one. Jimmy owes me 2. Judge owes me 1. LJ owes me 1. Mike owes me 1.
How many have you gotten?
I've gotten area 1, but I don't come for blood. I don't come.
Bets. I want.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
Oh, unprovoked. That unprovoked attack over here.
Jose's not being paid one of his steaks. I haven't even gotten a minute steaks.
Look, in my defense, Jose took 1.5 years to pay me mine.
Okay, that's fair. Now, he owed me 3 steaks, and there was only 2 of us there, so I brought in a homeless guy when we went, just to ensure that all those steaks came in. I got to get Jose a steak. I got to get Jose steaks. He's nonplussed. He's nonplussed about this. And you wanted him to do something.
I don't come for blood, you know. Cabby haggled me for 1 year to get his steak. I don't have to do it. I'll just wait. I'll patient.
Fuck, Jose. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm making it to this show in a car in a parking lot, and you come on here and fade both of my fucking bets that you didn't even pregame bet as soon as I get done talking about them. Fuck you.
I didn't realize I faded both of them. That's very funny that I faded both.
Well, let's get into the line history here. This total is a 9. It's a 9. It opened up minus 117 to the under, plus 104 to the over. So we've had 9 cents of movement to the over, plus 104 to minus 105.
Hey, maybe it is road rage. Damn, Daby.
Then we have
get attacked.
The Diamondbacks opening up at minus 143. They're now minus 168. 25 cents of movement towards the Arizona Diamondbacks. Then we get to the cash flow here in this one. 91% of tickets, 93% of cash on the over. 91% of tickets and 89% of cash on the Diamondbacks. I wonder if this is cash cow situation. This is a fascinating spot. Now, this wasn't part of Daby Cab's best bets. That's the Dodgers game and the Twinkies Mariners game, but he's rocking with us here so that we can keep him on for the final 3 games on the card. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Your thoughts on JP Sears getting rocked, whether Slade Ciccone can pitch at home, whether he can be in this rotation. Take it away.
He disappeared. He hit a cold dead spot. By the way, Daby, I'm going to see Daby in a few weeks.
I know what happened.
If I don't get a steak from Daby now.
His phone overheated, right?
Yeah.
His phone would have overheated in the car, right? Because it was so hot.
Oh, man. We'll see Daby here in a second. I'm off this game as well. I just need to see JP, figure it out. Because he's a young pitcher still. I still have faith in the guy to be decent. But he just needs to figure it out. He's in a rough spot here. The Diamondbacks against lefties have been quality basically all year. Let me see here. This month, 113 weighted runs created plus. So that, that will take that every time. And full season, they're 112. So, just good enough to be above average. But I just didn't want to end up moving on this game either way. Slade is one of your guys. I know that. So, yeah. And by the way, I should have your rotation written down too, because Alec Marks and Slade Ciccone definitely on them.
Slade is not being good. I don't, but I like it. He's a tricky pitcher. I mean,
Hey,
You know-
the difference between their rotations in real life and our rotations, Jimmy, is that the pitchers that we have on our rotations, they suck, but we bet them. We bet them, and they make money for us, so we love them. That's the difference.
okay, well, we got Daby Cab back in business. Daby,
Welcome back.
JP Sears,
My
Slade
phone
Ciccone, your thoughts?
overheated, so hopefully you can't hear the air conditioning that's blowing on it now.
That's what we figured, buddy. That's what we figured. What are your thoughts here with Ciccone and Sears? Sharpie saying, I think JP gets hit again. He allows zone contact 2.5% worse than the league average. And this Diamondbacks team's raking lefties. Okay. We've lost him.
He's dry.
It's hard. It's not easy trying to do what Daby Cab's doing. It's not easy.
Okay, hold on. We got him back, maybe? No,
I don't think so. But if he does move, we will notice it.
Okay.
So
Well, let's just. I guess we could. Cab, baby, Cab. Hello.
All right, now he's backing up. Now
He's looking around like someone's like he's trying to look for someone. This is a fun experience. Why don't we do this game and let him come back for the game that I guess you actually bet on? I had nothing on this game, but again, I was interested. I was interested in under, but no action.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with the spot either. Let's talk about the final spot on the board. He was going to back over somebody there.
No, definitely.
And then he was going to just hightail it out of there. 10:15 p.m. Eastern, our final spot on the board. We have the LA Dodgers, 51-31, 26-15 on the road at the San Francisco Giants, 39-43, 23-18 at home. Daby Cab back in business with us, my man. It's all good. It's all good, Daby Cab. But we're back here on the final spot on the board. Landon Knack, Logan Webb. BJ says he's all over the Giants. While you are here with us, why don't you tell us your plan for this Dodgers-Giants best bet?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to turn the air down, so if I get lost, it's because the phone is sitting in the sun baking. Okay, look, I talk about how you got to bet things and stick with them in baseball because it's a game of averages, right? And you got to find your lane. And I think that that's the best thing. Look at, somebody like, Sharpie, the way that he attacks his pitcher props, right? He sticks with what he knows. I think that's how you should bet baseball. As soon as Mookie Betts went down, we all should have been on Ohtani every single game. And he hasn't stopped, right? As soon as he got that leadoff position, he relishes it. He loves that spot. We should have been on him. If you just look right now, in his last, 10 games? In his last 10 games, he's hitting .444, 16 hits, 8 homers, 17 RBIs, 14 runs scored, and that's in just 10 games. He's absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. This is a situation tonight. I think he's got 13 plate appearances against Webb and only 3 hits, so he doesn't have the best average. But in those 3 hits, he has a home run and he has a double. So his slugging percentage is just over 500. And I don't see any reason why he's not going to keep relishing that leadoff spot. I got Ohtani over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. And I'm going to say it again. If it doesn't cash today, he has 8 home runs in his last 10 games. This is something that has been cashing at a very high rate. As long as he's going to keep this going, we should be on it.
Ohtani over 1.5 bases. And we got that minus 104 because you have a stud in Logan Webb on the mound. Let's talk Landon Knack and Logan Webb here. Landon Knack has been very good. And this kid looks so good. He's keeping the rotation. Well, Gavin Stone really is. But Landon Knack, 101, 2.10 ERA, 25 2/3 with a whip under 1. He looks great. Coming off that extra inning loss at home versus the Angels, he pitched very well. Our guy Darius, Jose will explain how to do that. Thank you for being interested in it. We do have a horse race popping off today. Landon Knack against Logan Webb. Logan Webb allowing 4 earned runs at the Cardinals, but a lot of cappers don't care what Logan Webb does on the road. They either fade him or pass, and at home you either back him or pass. At home, 2.06 ERA. He hasn't been as dominant, but he's still been very good. Dodgers versus righties, 245, 771 OPS since June 1st, while the Giants are struggling against them, 211, 637. They're raking lefties, not hitting righties. Jose, touch on batter versus pitcher props. I know that Daby just went over Ohtani versus Webb, but I'd love to hear about the others. Dodgers bullpen, 2.67 ERA, 0.97 whip being great. Giants bullpen getting a little better, but not good enough. So line history, quickly. And the weather, 59 Fahrenheit, 7.1 miles per hour, right to left and out, but then becomes just right to left. Then we'll get into the line history. For the line history, here we have Webb at minus 109. He opened up minus 105, 4 cents of movement towards the Giants. When we get into the total, we're getting to WNBA next with Billy Brisbane. On the total, here we have a 7.5. This opened up at 7.5 at Pinnacle, minus 110 to the under. It's now minus 114 to the under. So we've had 4 cents of movement on both the Giants' money line and the under. Let's get into the cash flow. And then here, Jose's plan for our final MLB game on the board. 98% of tickets, 97% cash on the over. Line's not moving. Total's not moving. 63% tickets, 58% cash on the Dodgers here. Hard not to be interested in the under. Hard not to be interested in the Giants. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah. Honestly, when I first looked at this game, this was another like red flags, low line, interesting spot. But like I was interested in the Dodgers. I'm not going to bet this game. I see I got BJ is on the Giants. I respect that. The line has moved towards the Giants. And you've mentioned the market here, and I'll do it again real quick. Only 63% of the bets, 58% of the money on the Padres here, which compared to some spots is not that much, but hey, we still have, line movement towards the Giants. Worrisome. The total, selfishly, I do want this to go down to 7 because then I will bet the over in this game, but I don't think it will. So I agree with you on both your spots, Giants and under, but I'm not going to move on either. Keeping it tight and not fading the Dodgers. So no action for me here.
I still have the numbers in for my first 5 move on the Royals here. When you go over those numbers, the Royals hit McKenzie and the Guardians do not hit Marsh. I don't think I went over all that, but let's go into the Dodgers-Giants spot here. Against Logan Webb, you have Freeman hitting 452 with a 1.130 OPS. You have Ohtani again, as Daby Cab mentioned, 429, 1.127 OPS. Austin Barnes gets to him. And then the other guys he gets out, except for Chris Taylor. And the Giants have never seen Knack. I am very so what was leading you to the over in the first place, Jose?
I wasn't on the over. I was leading on the under and the Dodgers.
But you said if it got to a certain number, you'd want the over.
Because of the trend that Mikey has put me on, that if it goes down a full run, then he bet the over.
This 4 opened up minus 108 last night, immediately got to 114 and 116. Then there's been a little bit of buyback. There's still been a 5-cent move towards the first 5 under, but why would that be? Pamper Pop parlay cashing for my guy UPK Ayash Yala yesterday. I love it. Why do you think there'd be a little bit of buyback on the over with these two pitchers? Truth Teller says I believe the over is good here. He put 2.5 units on the Dodgers, 1.5 unit on Ohtani Homer.
I can see it because the Dodgers offense is really good and the Giants offense should be good enough to get to Landon Knack. I mean, that's kind of the basic reasoning I can see.
But they're not hitting righties right now. I think this first 5 under 4 is a real nice spot, but I've not been succeeding on these 4s lately. I like the first 5 under 4. And I think I'll just leave it at that. I do think there's a pitching advantage with Webb at home against Landon Knack on the road, right?
Yes, yeah, and I just looked up Logan Webb against the Dodgers specifically. His last few starts, 2-24, 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4-1 victory. At the Dodgers, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs on a home run. 2-23, 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. At the Dodgers, and then he got touched. Well, not even. I guess you could say 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 1 of them earned. Could be the cause of that there. And you mentioned kind of batter versus pitcher there as well. Freddie hitting almost 500 against him. Ohtani 429. So it's worrisome.
Huh. Okay. I mean, BJ saying Webb at home is here, is key here. I still, though, would prefer the first 5 on both the Giants and the first 5 under, which I think I move on. 101 Benny saying Giants used up bullpen yesterday. Dodgers definitely should get to them after the 5th. Okay, let's review all action here on our
real quick.
Yeah.
For Darrence Moore, shout out to you, my guy. If you scroll down, I'm assuming you're watching the video right now. You scroll down, you'll see the Pub Sports Radio thing right there with 29,000 subscribers. There's a thing that says See Perks right there. You can manage your membership, and this is, I'm assuming you're on your computer, but you just click there and you'll see your membership perks, and you can go from there to upgrade. There's a wheel or a gear that says manage your membership and go about it like that. So shout out to you, Darrence.
Let's review action here in MLB and put a bow on it. So Pig Milk play today. Pirates first 5 plus a half. Colorado Bull, no ball parlay. It's up 10.1 units. He's only giving out 4, and he's hitting 50%. He's on San Francisco money line. He's tying that with the over in Alouettes Argos. It's plus 301. We got to give a birthday pick for Nordy. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Twins at plus 114. Then we have, here we go. Top set is on the Brewers, first 5 on the money line and the run line. Sharpie is on Sanchez over 18.5 outs. That's at plus 136. Sharpie going for a nice score there. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again play today is Miami plus 1.5 and the under 8.5. He's also taking Miami and the under 8.5. TJ's best bet is Miami, Philadelphia under 8.5. There. Tell me it's still there. Okay, it's still there. Which I will be betting here shortly. I'm going to be on the Rays -1. BJ, 2 best bets. He's on the Rays money line, the Giants money line. I'll be on the Rays money line. And I'll be on the Giants first 5 with him. Billy Friedrich did say he'd give us a Pig Milk UFC move here.
He did. I have it for you.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't seen it, but there it is. Yeah, he just popped in the chat. So we're in business.
Cool.
Isaiah Scurry here and Kelsey wanting to rename Grandma wearing your sister's panties while clubbing baby seals. That would make it easier for us to come up with a graphic because this is what we have right now. We need to work on it. It's not enough, but it's something. It's something.
I wonder what the AI machine would have to say about a grandma in G-string panties clubbing seals. I wonder what the AI machine will do with that.
We'll find out. I'm sure there'll be 6 fingers. Maybe
even 4.
Then I think the Orioles to win the division is fine at plus 125. I think it's fine. Now you'd have to bet 400 at least on it to make it meaningful to wait that long. Probably 500.
Oh, for the Orioles?
Yeah. Jose is on the Jays -108, and I want to join him. Top Crocodile say Granny UFC fan. She looked nonplussed. Didn't she look nonplussed there, Jose? I mean, is she happy?
Well,
maybe
I don't know.
All business. Is she all business? Maybe.
Well, she's champing, obviously, according to her underwear.
Or there's a lot of possibilities with what the hell's going on there. So, we'll dive deeper. We'll get the information. White Sox full game -125 for Jose. So he's got Jays, White Sox, and I like that first 5 under here, but I'm waiting. 6-finger discount, says Billy Friedrich.
What
Jose's
about
on the
the
Mets.
finger discount?
Jose's on the Mets full game. Cab's on the Astros first 5, and Cab took offense.
Yeah, he did. He did. He took offense to both.
Oh, and on that Rays spot, Diaz over 1.5 bases for our guy Justin McKelvey. That's Stacks play of the day. Stacks play of the day. Diaz over 1.5 bases.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Rod Zawacki, happy TGIF 10-star play today is Padres money line and reverse run line. Braves -1 I will be rolling with. And I'm going to be on the under in Cubs Brewers. My dude's play of the day is Colin Ray over 4.5 strikeouts -112. 101 Benny's cash flow play of the day is Tristan McKenzie over 3.5 Ks. I'm on the Royals first 5 -110. Reds Cardinals we stayed off. The Tigers Angels we stayed off. Cab's on the first 5 over 4 -102. Jose's on the full game under 7. And again, Cab took offense again.
Yeah, he did. What was his bet again on that?
You know,
First
it's not
over?
yeah, but he's on the first 5 over. You're on the full game under. Both spots, you could both cash, but that did not stop Cab for being upset.
Yeah, he was upset, and he wants consequences to the bets. You know, it's funny that he says that he wants the consequences, and he hasn't paid me yet my stakes, but I'm sure he'll pay me in a few weeks. So it's very funny.
He does want consequences. Also, we got the ribeye play of the day.
Ooh.
Just in. It is just in. It is Olsen at +155. That is the ribeye play of the day. A ribeye. Well, Jose, ribeye is not lost since we made that graphic.
I was going to say that I wish that people could see Jimmy's face during that graphic. His eyes do not move from the screen. Like, he's locked into the graphic, and like there's not like a second where he looks down, looks away. When it's playing, he just all eyes open. All his eyes open.
Gotta find that creek. I gotta find that creek.
See, Jimmy, I'm looking for Martin Drexler to be at Pubapalooza 4. Maybe you could find a way to get in contact with her.
Wow.
Pubapalooza 4. Who knows?
Kelsey's calling that Mikey's angry sex face. Now I'm not going to play it.
Vinegar strokes?
Now I'm never playing that again. Now we got to find a whole new graphic. God, I love that graphic.
God damn it, Kelsey. Fuck.
Okay.
Well, now, you know, Jimmy, if you won't play it, I at least want to play one more time to see.
All right. I imagine it's over. Clark Edge play today is the over 7 is his play today. A's, Diamondbacks, we stayed off. Cabs on Ohtani over 1.5 bases -104. And I like first 5 under 4 and Giants first 5 in that one. But anytime, whether it's a first 3 or a first 5 against the Dodgers, good God, can you get Ohtani and Freeman, get past Ohtani and Freeman for the love of God? All right, it is time to move on to WNBA. Jose, are you going to stick with us for the breakdowns?
No, I've got nothing. Good luck to everyone. Of course, I can only manage a few things at a time. It's funny. It's like I start capping, you know, baseball takes my whole life. And then I have this like side projects, which is sometimes the WNBA, sometimes it's player props, sometimes it's soccer. So
this is not the truth, though. Billy Friedrich says that's the face Mikey makes when Jose sits on his lap.
That's a lie.
That's a lie, right? That's a lie?
That's a lie, because we know that Mikey Money has never been happier a moment in his life.
I'll you $10 if you want to park. Do it. But Jose, how much?
Yeah. Look at him. You see that face?
Really happy. I mean, that's the happiest I've ever seen in my life. I've watched him cash huge bets, and he's not that happy.
No, I watch him cast huge bets, and he looks more angry that he's cashed them. He looked kind of like this.
He tricked me. Jose tricked me. I watched for 3 seconds and I realized what was about to come, and I looked down right in time. Okay, let's Jose join us back for the full review, and we're going to be racing horses here in a second. But let's bring on yesterday's champ. What a spectacular job our star of WNBA and all things basketball here on Betting with the Bag and Low Shack in the Bag and Pub Sports Radio. What a spectacular work he did. Yesterday, he gave us leans on the Storm, leans on Caitlin Clark under the PRA. They was both cashed. But the more importantly, he gave us Ogunbowale and the money line. He also tried to get me off the first quarter. And I'm going to listen to him for the rest of my life. That's the last time I'm like, no, Brizzy, let me handle this. I'll take the first score. What an ass clown I was. Only capper in the universe to lose money on the Dallas Wings last night was me. He was spectacular. Pixie gave out 3-1 plus 5.9 units, and that's not including those 2 late cashers. So please welcome our guy from South Jersey, Mr. Billy Brisbane, to the show. Brizzy, how are you?
Doing good. What up, Jim? Shouts to everybody in the chat.
Spectacular work yesterday, Brizzy. That was just really, really talented stuff here. Let's roll Brizzy. We have WNBA action, 2 games on the card. We start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Atlanta Dream, 6-9, 3-3 on the road at the Connecticut Sun, 14-3, 8-1 at home. One of those home victories was in overtime last night. It was your lone setback. Are they tired? Should they be this big of a favorite? They're 10-point favorites yet again. And this opened up at 8.5 and has moved a 1.5 in their direction. From a total standpoint here, oh, and yes, Billy, I'll go over all of Flash's footy action here in a second. We have the total at 150. This opened up at 152.5, so there's been a 2.5-point drop in the total. Let's get the cash flow short. Billy Friedrich says, this guy Brizzy could get it done while wearing a half-shirt hoodie. He's not been rocking those anymore. We're all very thankful. We're all extremely thankful for that. Jarek White on the over 149.5. Let's get into the cash flow for WNBA and see if they'll give us any of this information. And they are giving us the information. Are they giving us all the information? Yes, they are. So on the spread, you have 34% of the tickets on the Dream and 42% of the cash. This line's moved a 1.5 in the direction of the Connecticut Sun on the second half of back-to-back. On the total, you have 60% of tickets and 65% of cash on the under, and we've seen that drop 2.5 points to the under. So Clark Edge saying, Billy, we going to the event tonight. I will pick you up. AC popping right now, Brizzy. But we want to know how you're getting paid in the WNBA. Dream
Yeah,
Sun.
like you said, this was the one loser I had on the card yesterday was back in the Sun minus the 10 last night against the Mystic. And I kind of had a plan. Didn't really work out. Kind of passing on this game. I think this is a terrible spot for the Sun. That's why I was kind of on them last night and not tonight. They're coming off a 3-game road trip now at home after an OT game on the second half of a back-to-back. Granted, Washington to Connecticut isn't that far, but it's just a game where they put in a lot of effort pulling it out late versus a Mystics team that was red hot last night. The total's pretty low at 150 right now, but deservedly so. Before last night, Sun held 8 straight opponents under 72.5 points, so kind of passing on this one. I kind of want to bet the Atlanta Dream, but no Ryan Howard for me. So no Ryan Howard, no Billy Brisbane.
Justin McKelvey on that Suns team total under 8.5, under 80.5. That seems appealing. He's also on the under 153.5 when he bet it. Nice work. I made my first foray in the WNBA yesterday, and it made me angry all day. Like I'm 6:00 p.m. knowing all you guys made all this money. Like I was picking up my daughter when I saw that you'd cashed that, and I was happy for you, and I still couldn't believe the schmuck move that I had made. Justin McKelvey also on the Dream plus 10 for a unit. Let's talk about the final spot on the board. While my foray into the WNBA season is 0-2, Mikey Money is 2-0, and he's on the Los Angeles Sparks here. 4-13, and horrific on the road, 1-9. At the Phoenix Mercury, 8-8, 6-2 at home. We're at Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Getting to the line history for this one, Brizzy. On the total, we have a 169.5. This opened up at 166.5. We've climbed 3 points. It's also juiced to the over at this point. So we've climbed 3 points on the total. On the spread, we're sitting here with the Sparks plus 10.5. It is juiced to them. That's where this opened at 10.5. This did get to 11, and then it got to 11.5, but we're back where we started. So let's get to the cash flow then for this one. We have 62% of tickets and 83% of cash on the Sparks, but the line's not moving in their direction. 67, no, there's been some buyback, but not moving their direction. Maybe it's moving their direction now, but it's not past that opening line. 67% of tickets on the over. We don't have cash flow there. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Sparks, Mercury, the final game on the card.
Yeah, this is a double up spot for me. When those ones were, I just gotta play it. Gotta play it. This is the 7-game road. This is the 7th game of a 7-game road trip for the Sparks here. They've been covering these double-digit spreads, 4-1 in double-digit spreads this year, and it's definitely caught the public's attention. 61% of the bets, 83% of the tickets coming in on the Sparks tonight. I just don't get it. Since the Cameron Brink injury, they had the worst defensive rating in the WNBA, and then to add to tonight's injury report, no Lexi Brown. She's out with Crohn's disease up until the All-Star break. Clarendon is out as well. Since Brittany Griner's been back, the Mercury have gone 4-2, 5th best defense and 3rd best offense this month. Brittany Griner's coming off a Player of the Week last week. I like the job that Nate Tibbetts has been doing in his first year for the Mercury here. He's been finding a good balance between pace and post play. 3rd fastest team in the league, and Brittany Griner's been smashing. The first time that these two teams met, the Mercury covered a -4.5 line. Probably, I would say, my second biggest WNBA bet this year, and that was without Rebecca Allen and Brittany Griner, and they won by 19 points. So I'm kind of fading the public here and laying the points here with the Mercury tonight. Not as big of a wager as the first game that they played this season, but it's still a 1-unit bet for me. And then I'm hopping on. You could play it straight as a prop, but fuck it. I just put the player performance doubles again. Brittany Griner, 20+ points in the Phoenix Mercury to win, +120. Griner's been honestly one of the best players in the WNBA since coming back from injury. In her first game, she had 11 points in 21 minutes, but since then she's been smashing. Now she gets a matchup versus the Sparks, who allow the most post-up points allowed in the WNBA, and that's literally how Brittany Griner plays. So I like the Mercury. I like the matchup here for them. I think the days of rest are going to help them. And 7th game road trip for the Sparks here. I just don't like the spot for them. I think they're ready to get back home.
That's an interesting angle and take. What was your Griner? Griner and
20+ points and the Mercury to win. It's under the player performance doubles and FanDuel. It isn't +500 like it was last night, but you just take what the board gives you, right?
What is this one?
Brittany Griner, 20+ points, Mercury to win.
And what was the juice?
+120.
+120 for our Billy Brisbane. I wish I had been tracking you from the beginning, Brizzy, and it's my fault. It would be a huge selling point for the show, and I can go back and go over because I did always, write down your action. I should do that because you've been spectacular and you were incredible yesterday, and we thank you for that. Brizzy has given us the 2 spots here: Mercury -10 or 10.5, depending on where you can get it right now, and Brittany Griner 20+ and Mercury to win. Brizzy, thank you so much. There's a huge fight weekend, and we have our hit podcast and live video available right now on our home page. That's the Locker Room Talk podcast, starring Brizzy, Millsy, big show picks, and 2 cents. Brizzy, talk to us about UFC 303, your plan for this weekend, and where everybody can find you.
You guys got to get locked in. The Pub Sports Radio contest. It's International Fight Week. It's the biggest weekend of the year for the UFC. And Slaughter answered the peoples in the chat. $200 to first this weekend.
Ooh.
3 different people in the chat would make $100 this weekend if you tune into the Saturday live stream. So you got to sign up. Pub Sports Radio /contest. It's UFC 303. International Fight Weekend, biggest weekend of the year, and that's over $500 worth of giveaways given out to the chat members this weekend. It's going to be a banger stream. Make sure you guys are here. Hit the like, subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Locker Room Podcast popping off this weekend. UFC weigh-ins just happened a couple of hours ago, so it's a big weekend. Invicta makes their CBS debut tonight, and PFL action as well. So it's going to be a night of fighting tonight, and then tomorrow night we do it all over again. So make sure you guys are here at Pub Sports Radio on the channel. Big weekend. I can't believe I have a big bet on Irishman, and his name is not Conor McGregor.
I love it. I love it, Brizzy. I love it. And sorry, Top Crocodile, I didn't do that right. The channel name is actually Who Bangin' Sports Talk. That's where we'll be tonight, celebrating our friend Tease. Let me.
That's tonight, right?
That is tonight. I'll write it out for you guys. The actual Who Bangin' Sports Talk, where we will be celebrating our friend Tease tonight. And Brizzy, spectacular work. Go get that cash, my friend. Great work in UFC and also delivering for us in WNBA, which is means a ton to all of us. So thank you, Brizzy. Please support Brizzy on X at getting_bills_. Brizzy, my man, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
Yeah, let's make some money this weekend. You already know Independence Day is coming around the corner, so we got to make some money, man. This is a big weekend for the Americans. I would say last thing is Team USA plays, I believe, Sunday or Monday, but whatever the next game is, I believe it's against Uruguay. I have a bet on Josh Sargent anytime goal scorer. To be honest with you, I've bet that shit for at least, it's been on my ticket for like 3 days now. Really good spot for him. He got pulled out of the game last time because we got like a red card within like the first 5 minutes. Wealth got a red card, whatever. He got subbed out of the game because they had to put another defenseman out there. He should be able to start and play the full game. And it's a game that we really need. And I think his opportunity is very high because everybody's going to bet Christian Pulisic to score a goal, but it could just be Josh Sargent with a little header in the back of the net. It's at like plus 155.
I love it. I love it, Brizzy. Thank you, my man. And get that cash all weekend long. $500 up for grabs in our UFC contest. Thank you, Brizzy, my man. All right, that is our show for today. Let's get Jose back up here and race some. Can we do camels?
Yes, we can.
Good. I'd like a camel race here. Really like a camel race. See those camels. So let's review all action here on the show. Now we don't need to go through MLB again. Kong's Clips, a UFC Smash of the Week. Lopez KO plus 240. Lopez KO at plus 240. And I'll find our guy Billy's UFC spot as well. Look, it's again, and I don't mean to keep hammering this to you guys, but Sunday we put out our CFL and we destroy the market moves. So now it's only a 55-cent move that I beat. It was 75 cents, but I'm on the Owls money line minus 125. Now you have to take a -3 or -3.5. I think the Alouettes deliver here, and that was 2-unit bet. And you guys, I don't do that enough. I need to start hammering these spots a little harder when I'm coming in blustery. I'm on the Stamps +5 tomorrow, and I think I might leave the Ticats Red Blacks game off, which will be the first CFL game I haven't bet this year. The moves from Flash was Uruguay plus 400. Plus 4.
Yeah, your pronunciation of Uruguay is not the best.
It's not the best. No. Plus 400 to win the tournament, which would, obviously you'll be able to hedge and things like that. Plus 400. Costa Rica first half under for Flash, right? Costa Rica first half under for Flash. And a lot of people took that as maybe Costa Rica under a half goal in that game. He doesn't like the under 2.5, but he does like that. Then we have Jose with both teams to score in Paraguay, Brazil, and Flash gave us Paraguay over a half goal at plus 111. So that is our action that's not MLB related. We went over that a couple times there. So we're in business, Jose.
Yeah,
We are
and
in
shout out to
business.
Marcelo Bielsa and Uruguay. I like that look from Flash. It's gonna be fun. Flash didn't mention because Liverpool fan, their best player, Liverpool striker. So it's gonna be fun.
Now, but before we go to camels, we need a best bet for our guy Nordy, which is what?
Skunt Blaster, I believe, as well on our horses. So shout out to you, Skunt Blaster.
Yeah, respect.
My best bets, I will give you the Toronto Blue Jays full game money line.
Wow.
Fuck the Yankees.
My best bet for you, Nordy, is a 3-game. Should I make that a 3 or a 2? Let me just say. Is a 3-game parlay.
Wow.
And at 365 right now, it's plus 282. Now, there's 2 different ways of playing this, Nordy. And but I think you go for the score here. It's the Tampa Bay Rays money line, the Atlanta Braves money line, and the Montreal Alouettes money line. Plus 282 right now. Plus 282.
By the way, speaking of Montreal, our girl Kelsey is going to be in Montreal next week. Kelsey, let us know how the contact dances go. I've heard a lot about them.
They are spectacular. And Montreal is a great city. And now in the summertime, I mean, this is usually right around Just for Laughs festival, which went bankrupt. Just for Laughs festival went bankrupt. There's no Just for Laughs festival. That's the first time in over 40 years that there won't be one. But still, Montreal in summertime is banging. You'll have a great, great time there. We are racing camels. Jose, racing camel. Nordy, happy birthday. Turning 40 years old tomorrow. Respect and love, man. Truly, truly, Nordy, thank you for being a part of our show, and just love capping with you. And happy 40th tomorrow, my man. We are racing camels, Jose.
Real quick, I have a request from Kelsey. She says that she's going to send pics. Kelsey, if you could find a particularly elderly lady of the night and take a picture of her, that's what we want specifically. Like I would love, and Mikey Money said that he wants the grandma's panties pod to be just a nice, radiant, white, wrinkled ass with a G-string. So if you could find that as well, we would also appreciate that, Kelsey. But more towards the older lady of the night, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah. We just got to ask.
We've got to roll here. A 1-minute race. We've got to roll here. Ella has graduated grade 1, and I've got to go celebrate with her as she is.
I hope
now
you guys
grade
get
1
some Venezuelan food.
It's not a bad idea. I love it.
Not a bad idea. We're off and racing. Desert. That is Texas. This is Texas weather, actually. This is actually what it looks like in the summer. I'm out in the front. Ken Wood in the lead right now. Big Show pick, chosen one, K Wolf, J Peasy, all in the mix right here. We've got 37 seconds left. Who's going to come out? Chris Boggin making a charge from the back here.
Look at Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson looks like his namesake, running all the way to the lead. Julian says,
and there he goes.
Julian says, so every time I say Camel's name, it falls back. Ken Wood trying to come home with it. Big Ragu, slow and steady, takes the lead, but Big Show picks up something to say on the outside. 10 seconds left. Here comes K-Wolf, and here comes Saturated. Saturated making a huge move with those long camel legs. Can Slaughter stop him? Can Slaughter stop him? Preston Ekdahl is your champion.
Congratulations.
Good God. That means that we have $100 up for grabs on Wednesday. $100
on Wednesday?
up for grabs. Yes, right?
On Thursday.
Oh, sorry, on Thursday. You're right. On Thursday. Next Thursday, $100 up for grabs. Preston, how many times has he won?
I think this is his second now.
Wow. Preston Ekdahl. Now, Kelly McInnes came 9th. So he's starting to build a little confidence. Starting to build
confidence, yeah.
a little confidence.
Yeah,
All
that's
right, you
true.
guys, we have a huge card ahead of us, and I'm not going to be able to get in my action until I return, which I don't like. I don't like, but I'm not going to be able. I'm not going to try to rush it in right now. I'm just going to take deep breaths and be calm, and make these bets in about an hour. Oh God, I hate that.
I wish you the most of luck. I hope no lines move, and let's all collectively put that good juju out on Jimmy right now. Do not let any of his lines move too much.
I don't like it. But we love you guys. Kelsey O'Brien, Palmer, Phil the Kill, Nordy, Kelly McInnes, Billy Friedrich, Tori Coker. What a great group. Lexicon, Phil the Kill, Jared Jones, Jarek White. We love you guys. I'm that Heat, Regidin Codes. Oh, by the way, Dominique Davis apologized on our YouTube comment.
Yeah.
He apologized. And I thought it was cool of him. And you know, Dominique, you know who that is? That's Lil Domo's dad.
Oh,
right? Lil Domo's young. So that was Lil Domo's dad. He said that he didn't have air conditioning. He's in Vegas, no air conditioning. He was angry, and he apologized to all of you guys and thanked you for your look on the Dallas Wings. So shout out to Dominique Davis. Shout out to Domo Senior and Domo Junior. We love you guys, and
Big
no
Domo.
worries. That was very accountable of his action. LQAYOD, Skunt Blaster, John Chow, the Clark Edge, Joseph Alvarado. Thank you guys, all of you. Rod Zawacki says take Montreal -9.5. Look at that. Look at that. I got him on -125 money line. TJ, all of you guys. Mikey Money, Top Crocodile. Truly, truly, thank you guys. Swizz. That's not Swizz Horton, though. That's not Swizz Horton, but Swizz in the house. Sean Pulliam. Thank you, guys. Jose, thank you. Great work. Huge day yesterday, Jose. We need more of it. Let's say us into the future, my friend.
Let's go. Shout out to everyone in the chat. 2 last reminders. Me and Jimmy both will be at Teese's Memorial stream today.
Yes, so important. Thank you. Thank you.
It is on Who Bangin' Sports.
9
So
p.m.
just type in Who Bangin'. We'll be there. 8 p.m. Central. I have to remember that myself. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So shout out to all of you.
Oh, yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. No,
Yes.
you nailed it. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you. So thank you guys as always. Don't forget, support Pub Sports Radio any way you can. Memberships, however it may be, shirts, all available on the Pub Sports Radio website. Thank you guys for watching. Justin, Kelsey, good luck in Montreal. Joe, Joseph, Top Croc, Jarek White, Nuke Worker, Phil the Kill, O'Brien, Rebecca, the Domos, Lexicon, Phil the Kill. Thanks to you all for watching. We'll be back here again very soon. Say Hey Plays tomorrow morning. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Oh, and speaking of Say Hey Plays with Daby, me and Daby will be together during the All-Star Game weekend festivities, even though it's on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it is like a week basically. But we will be in Arlington. I know there's some Arlington cappers in there. So if you guys want to come hang out during the All-Star Game festivities, we will be releasing more information on that stuff soon. So shout out to you guys and legend.